certainly appreciate Rick's support of our program. And we don't want to leave out Congressman Chuck Fleischman, a big supporter of high school football and our BBB Communications broadcast each week, has served Anderson County in Congress since 2011. Thank you, Congressman, for your tremendous support. And on 4th and long, Oak Ridge is going to send out Efrain Rodriguez.
And it's
and
good.
That kick is good.
I tell you, Oak Ridge has kickers for days, guys.
That is a 31-yard, or actually longer than that. That's about a 34-yard field goal, and it's true for Rodriguez.
Now let's see if Clinton can field this kickoff return.
Yeah.
Are they going to make any adjustments here? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, Clinton, when they go back and they watch when Clinton goes back and watches the film on this, they're going to kick themselves.
Yeah, the adjustment they've made is they walked up their second returner about 10 yards, 5 yards around the numbers. So he's sitting around the 20-yard line, 15-yard line.
How good is Tyler Dunham at these Davis Funeral Home kickoffs?
Very talented kicker. He has placed it accurate all night long on these kickoffs. I expect the same thing here. Clinton has got to secure this catch. They haven't.
And here it is.
He called fair catch.
And made it cleanly. And it's amazing to me that the ball has hit the ground as many times as it has tonight. You've had some muffed kicks.
Yeah.
But how many times did that ball hit the ground off that kickoff?
Way too many.
Way too many.
Well, you're talking of a swing of 14 points there easily.
Yeah.
Probably more than that. So, that's something that you have got to get on the game film and teach these kids. Say, hey, if we keep doing that, we're not going to win. We have got to limit these mistakes, mental mistakes, and beating ourselves, and make some adjustments as a coaching staff on the fly when you see that.
So this Sexton Automotive drive will begin at the 37-yard line. Sexton Automotive located on the Turnpike in Oak Ridge. And here is Keith, and he's sacked in the backfield.
Started with a low snap from the center. He had to bend over to get it. He never made up. Oak Ridge was able to get pressure by only sending 4. And Clinton had 6.
And that's Joseph Morgan getting the tackle. Big junior coming from that defensive line position.
Yeah, you don't like that when you're getting pressure by sending 4 and you're holding in 6 blockers to block that 4, and those 4 are winning.
Yeah.
That's not good.
So Keith fakes the hand. No, he doesn't.
Good run.
Yeah, that's Hollyfield. Gets up to the 35-yard line. And we will have a timeout.
Good hole, good block. 10 seconds left.
And apparently the Wildcats want to talk about it with 10 seconds left. Coach Gaddis is going to get another victory in this game. He's had a lot of success in this series. In fact,
Joe Gaddis over there coaching these guys up real good, giving them a lesson on discipline. Keep your mouth shut. When this game's over, we're going to get our helmets on and shake hands or do whatever it is that he's wanting.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yep. Keep it classy. You don't want to have no other player ejected for next week.
Coach Joe Gaddis is 16-2 in this series as Keith throws an interception on the last play of this game, and that goes to Jonathan Stewart, and Stewart has 6 on the brain, and he gets in for a touchdown, but there is a flag at the 25-yard line of Clinton. So Jonathan Stewart picks the pass off and returns it for a touchdown, as we see on this attorney Matt
Watch
Tuck
number
replay.
7 here for Oak Ridge.
Oh.
That was on them. Yep.
And the penalty flag has been wiped off. That's surprising.
I'm assuming they counted that as a touchdown. They waved a flag.
The officials are running off the field.
Yeah.
This game is over. They called a touchdown, so your final score here, and it's not being reflected on the scoreboard yet, but the final score is 36-0.
36-0, a big win for the Oak Ridge Wildcats in a very strange game over here in Clinton, Tennessee.
Yeah, so Tim Shelton, it's a Tim Shelton touchdown to end the ball game. The very last play of the game, that's an exciting way to end the game.
So, yeah, 26 penalties.
And we end the night with 26 penalties between the two teams. That's
26 penalties.
It has been
some kind of record.
Yeah. This is one that we'll remember for the wrong reasons.
And what a way to end the game. No shaking hands, no nothing. Just run off the field and get ready for next week.
Of course, some of that is COVID related, as we see on the attorney Matt Tuck replay. If somebody is going to pick off a pass, if you're the opposing team, you don't want it to be Jonathan Stewart, and he just shows you why.
Yeah, he's such a talent.
And then there's the call saying that it's a touchdown. So your final score
36-0
is 36-0. So, whew, man, not exactly what I expected.
No, it's probably one of the sloppiest games, like I said, I've seen in the last 5 years. But what a place to have a game over here in Clinton, Tennessee. Very rich tradition over here. I believe they went to a state championship back in the early 90s. Had 14 wins. It's actually my grandfather coached over here for a couple years in the late 80s and got a win over Oak Ridge. So this is a deep-rooted tradition place over here, and there's a lot of pride in Clinton. And I look for Clinton to bounce back over the next few years and get back to where they were at. I remember when they had Rodney Ellison as offensive coordinator over here back in the mid, 2014, 15, 16 years. And they were putting up numbers over here at the quarterback position that was just unheard of. So look for them to come back with that here shortly. And Oak Ridge, Joe Gaddis, look at him rallying his troops, correcting mistakes, getting after him. You're talking a coach that's got 30-plus years of experience up there and a state championship. He's a high-quality, high-character guy. So he's making corrections right now. And both of these teams need to watch a lot of film over the next week and correct their mistakes and really limit the penalties moving forward if they want to advance as a football team.
Yeah, Clinton, you talked about the storied past that this program has. They do have a state runner-up from 1992 and an overall record of 432, 414, and 22. So a winning record after playing over 800 games. So your final stats for tonight, Clinton with 4 first downs. They had 3 at the end of the first half, so only picking up 1 in the second half. To Oak Ridge's 13 rushing yards. 0 net rushing yards for Clinton and only 8 passing yards. I'll let you do the quick math on that. If you have 0 rushing yards and 8 passing yards, how many total do you have?
8, which you might as well say none.
Yeah.
I tell you, that's one of the most abysmal performances offensively that I think I've ever seen in a high school football game.
It was rough. It was very rough.
I tell you, I don't think I can name another one.
Yeah. Oak Ridge, of course, finished this tonight with 285 total yards. The 3 turnovers for Clinton is why this one really got out of hand, because you remember at the end of the first half, the score was 10-0, and Clinton received the football to start the second half. Penalties, 16 for Clinton for 105 yards, 10 for Oak Ridge for 90 yards. That's 26 total for 195 yards.
How many of those was declined?
That's a good point.
You know, there was a bunch of those that was declined.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
talking
a good point.
8. So, abysmal performance with that side of the ball game, and you can't win football games like that. And if you don't get that corrected now, which they should be corrected midway through the season here, it's going to be a long season for the Clinton Dragons. And this coaching staff's got to roll their sleeves up and really get to it.
Yeah, and Oak Ridge has cleaned that up too. 10 penalties for 90 yards.
Yeah, that's too much.
It is, especially
for Oak Ridge.
Yeah, and in the tough region that both of these teams play in. So Oak Ridge comes in, gets the win tonight. Joe Gaddis moves to 17-2 all-time versus Clinton. So pretty good record for him at Clinton City Field here. So I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We'll send it back to the station and give you the 5-Star Preps Friday Night Scoreboard show. And that's with David Queener and Jonathan Cox. And we'll remind you, next week we've got a good one lined up for you. Oneida at Rockwood.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, that will be a fun one to watch.
Better tune in, guys, because I tell you right now, there's going to be some slobber knocking going on in that one.
Yeah, if you like hard-fought, 3-yard and cloud of dust football, you'll see it there.
Another thing that you will see is you should see disciplined football in that game.
Yeah, I guarantee it. So that'll be a real fun one. Join us next week for that one. For Brad Jones and the staff here at BBB TV, James Gibson, I'm Aaron Harvey. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed this one. Have a good night, folks.
Excited to be a part of this year's football season. School spirit is at an all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit wreckintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
And we've got the vehicles you need to make the most of this season.
Whether you're exploring the great outdoors or cheering on your favorite team, let's take your fall to the next level. In a 2017 F-150 Crew Cab XLT 4x4, $38,990. 2020 Ford Escape Titanium All-Wheel Drive, $29,990. 2017 Subaru Outback Limited, $23,899. At Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, we are your East Tennessee Ford dealership. Come and see us today. Shop RayVarnerFord.com.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices. Race on down!
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the Hot Water Wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Welcome to the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. David Queener, Jonathan Kellogg. We're glad to be here tonight. You didn't go nowhere tonight, did you? Fulton off tonight?
Carved pumpkins.
Carved pumpkins, okay. Well, I know you don't get to watch the Channel 12 games where you live, but man.
I got to watch a little bit of that tonight.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was up in Clinton carving pumpkins.
Just one thing about this, 26 penalties. 26 penalties called tonight.
When's the last time that Clinton played a football game?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
You know, I'm a Clinton guy, and which everybody knows that.
You got your Blaze shirt.
I got my Blaze shirt on tonight. But anyway, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know that Clinton might not have been better off to have postponed this week and play, to get another week of practice in. Because to me, I think it's not an excuse. Oak Ridge beat Clinton fair and square tonight. But I don't know that Clinton should maybe have postponed and waited till another day to play.
When did they start practicing? They get to start practicing on Monday this week?
I think they practiced on maybe Sunday.
Okay.
Had a Sunday or a Saturday. They got to practice one of those 2 days. I don't know which one it was. But
and for a new coach?
Man, this is, real seriously, just write this year off. I mean, because the COVID stuff, I mean, and then a new coach, no spring, new system, it's bad. It's not a winning formula, okay? I mean, you're just not going to win. They're playing freshmen everywhere, freshman quarterback, freshman running back, freshman receivers. There's freshmen running around everywhere. You've coached long enough to know that most freshmen, it's tough to play varsity anything.
Yeah.
So.
And varsity football without a scrimmage or a preseason.
No 7-on-7 drills for these kids. No scrimmages to try to correct mistakes. I guess I was a little shocked on the penalties tonight, maybe a little bit. But golly, 26 penalties. That's just entirely too many penalties both ways, I think.
Was Kennedy the white hat?
No, Tim Sharp was white hat.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand. He had a game last night and a game tonight, too. They must be short on officials.
I heard he was.
But he's supposed to go to state, maybe.
Yeah, and they wanted to give him some TV games.
I guess. I don't know. Normally, I would rag on the officials pretty hard, but I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm just going to let you say, wow, that's all I got to say. A lot of teams tonight, Cox, postponed because of the COVID.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really be able to tell by the shots tonight from Clinton if it looked like most people were social distancing. I don't know about the mask part, but folks, we're in week 6. You got to do that. You just got to do it if we're going to continue on. And like I said, every week it seems to knock somebody else out. And what happens if you're a team? Let me ask you a question. What happens if you're a team that's ready to go to the playoffs and you have a COVID instance, and then you're knocked out for 2 weeks and you're knocked out of the playoffs?
You lose.
That's
Hall's. I mean, think about this: the Hall's golf team this past week, they've won that district and dominated that district for years, and they did not get to play.
That's horrible.
They're girls and boys both, and there was no one on the team that COVID contact trace back to the group of kids at Hall's who were sent home originally. But there were so many of them that were sent home for that morning wellness PE area that they, I guess, went red. And Knox County's policy was if you go red at that particular high school, then you shut down athletics.
Now, you might know this, is why I'm going to ask this question. Do you know how many seniors was on? Was it senior heavy or it don't really matter?
I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly.
You just hate that for a senior, to know they've, probably put a lot of time and effort into it and then get knocked out. That's just really.
Well, you only have 4 opportunities.
That's true. That's really true.
And you've taken away one of those 4.
Yeah, it's really,
regardless. It's senior, junior, yeah.
So tonight, we're going to do it a little bit different. About 11:30, we'll talk a little college football if anybody's interested in calling us and talking to us tonight. But our number is 483-8112. And we will take your calls here tonight. But a little college football night. Tennessee kicks it off tomorrow. We'll talk about that just a little bit later on. But like I said, high school football, week 6 cranks on up. And, what part of that game I saw last night between Carnes and Campbell County? If Campbell County had a field goal kicker or could just
hold on the ball,
just made it really tough on him.
It did.
He made some, and Coach Tapp always has a pretty good comment. You've heard me say this before. If you start chasing points, when you start chasing points, you're not going to.
Yeah, it's I didn't watch any of that game last night. If I did, I'd have watched it on mute. But I don't get that channel at my house.
Okay.
And, I was over at a friend's house when Rockwood was playing Kingston earlier this year, and the production of, you know, the HD and stuff, it's really nice. But, man.
Yeah, they got a little bit better stuff than what, you know, because they got more equipment than what Brad's got. And
but they are
bad. Brad does a pretty good job of what he's got, so I'll take BBB 12 every time. Let's get a call here. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
Okay, Kingston just got beat in overtime, 36-35 on a 2-point conversion. And Oneida just got beat by Upperman 7-0.
Wow.
Yep.
Who did Kingston play tonight?
Kingston played Stone Memorial.
Out of conference.
Out of conference. All right. Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
That's a big school, too, aren't they? Aren't they a AAA basketball school?
I think so.
I think they're AAA.
Oneida goes down 7-0.
So that was out of...
Is that out of Region 2 or out of district?
Yeah, I think
this
this is, I think so.
This week?
Yeah, Upperman wouldn't be in Oneida's. Man, that production that was put on and that story behind Tony Lambert and his football team, that's pretty special.
Oh, it was, man.
That was pretty special.
For the folks who don't know Tony Lambert, but if you watch that 5-star little clip there of Oneida football, and young man in a serious car accident, still trying to heal up apparently today, and so serious injuries. I think they even said in the clip there, thought at one time he might lose a leg over it. His legs are so badly broken, or one of them is anyway. That's Tony Lambert, 100%. He's a Class A guy, #1 guy. He's what high school football coaches are all about. He's the real deal. I'd go to war with him any day of the week. He's a guy I'd go to war with any day of the week. He's that type of guy.
And the community support behind him.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Because the type of guy that he is. Yeah. It would be an unbelievable place anyway, but he makes it that much better.
He's just a down to earth guy. He's a really good guy, and he's, you know, like I said, I go to war with him. He's one of those guys I go to war with any day of the week. Yeah. There's a lot of them that I wouldn't. He's one of them, but he sure loves his young men up there. I'm sure there's women on that team too as trainers and everything else. So he sure loves those kids up Oneida. He's a special person, man.
Yeah,
he sure is. Hey, 4838112, give us a call. Was there anything that surprised you tonight?
How many COVID games there were?
Well, Lenore City and Greenback canceled, Cofield and Gordonsville canceled, Science Hill and Catholic canceled, Halls and Powell canceled, East Ridge and who is it? I can't even see. Silverdale?
Signal Mountain.
Signal Mountain canceled. Right there's about 5 right there that canceled. So,
you know, you wonder at this point if some of these games that are being canceled right now would have been played 2 or 3 weeks ago, not knowing, you know, the situation of who's good, who's bad, who's having a tough year, you know, injury related. You know, you can say what you want to. There will be a game canceled, if not already happened, of saying, there's no sense in us going over and playing them. We've got so-and-so banged up. We've got some COVID tracing going on. We just need to cancel this for COVID and play next week.
You know, and I said what I said earlier tonight about canceling for Christmas. Look who Clinton's got next week, West. They were beating somebody not 50-something or whatever.
And then they go to Fulton.
Yeah, and then
is that right?
I think so. Maybe Fulton, Campbell County, Carnes, Campbell County. Campbell County might be the last game of the year. I'm not 100% sure for them. I don't remember. It's Carnes or Campbell County won it. They got a
They go through.
They're 4 games.
Oak Ridge, West, Fulton, Powell.
All right, Powell was a COVID game.
Powell's a COVID game. Okay, so it would have been Powell, Oak Ridge, West, Fulton. Right. That was the 4-game stretch.
Yeah. I mean, that's a murderer's row. That's a murderer's row for a powerhouse team to go through. But, hey, Saturday night, I did watch the Central Power game, and I'm going to be honest about something. And there's not very many people watch from Central, but I'm going to be honest, I didn't get impressed by Central. I thought Powell was by far
the better team.
By far. I mean, I hear all this about this quarterback from Central, how good he is, and I was not impressed. I mean, he might be the best thing in the world, but I just wasn't impressed. I mean, the hype for them was really way up here, and to me it was really way down here. You know, same way I seen West and Oak Ridge play, and I wasn't too overly impressed with West, but apparently they're really good. I don't know if the teams have bad nights, but is West the best team in the state of Tennessee in 5A? That's where they're ranked today. They're the number one team.
I can tell you who's not. Those two teams that were on BBB TV 12 tonight.
Well, that's true.
So, and I thought Oak Ridge would be a top 5A team.
That score tonight, that's not what I thought it'd be.
No.
I thought it'd be a whole. I mean, it's light. It's light compared to what I thought it'd be.
I still say you got the four teams that are above everybody else right now. That's West, Powell, Central, and South Dole. Last year, if you remember, 10 weeks into the season, Central had lost 2 games that everybody thought they should have won, and they won the gold ball.
Well, I don't see them winning the gold ball this year.
Well, they've got 5. Friday night, they had 5 guys on defense who didn't play, starters.
Okay.
And they had 2 offensive guys that didn't play.
Yeah, but their stud receiver played, and he didn't impress me.
Well, I mean, I think Powell looked better. I think Powell was better equipped for that game because I think Powell had played a lot tougher schedule going into that game.
To me, and this is me, okay, just as a high school football fan, it seemed to me like Powell was ready to play that football game.
And Central ain't played anybody close to that good.
Right, and Central was not.
No.
I think it's almost like Central thought, hey, we're the defending state champs, and we got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got it all right.
Yeah, and then, you know, just some things that happened in that game. 2 of the fumbles that were called back. You know, it was just one of those. Everything I think that could have went wrong, and they didn't look good on top of that.
Now, Powell and South Dole are in the same region, right? They're not.
Central and
South Dole.
Yeah.
I won't be shocked if it's not South Dole that's the region champs.
I would agree with that. I would agree.
Do you think it comes down to who wins the Powell West game then?
That's at West. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know. At the same time, Powell could have lost their first 2 games of the season to an Anderson County team and a Beach team. They're 1 play away from both those games. They literally won the game on the last play for both those games. 4th down and forever against Anderson County, and they give up a touchdown. And then you turn around, and Beach had them beat. Blatant offensive pass interference in the end zone. The kid goes up and catches the football. So I just don't know. I think West is better equipped right now to win that football game.
And here's another question I'll ask you, and I know you might know and you might not. I'm just asking because 5-star prep stuff. What has happened to Jeff County? They used to be a fairly good football school up there. They've went on. I mean, they've just really.
The only good news about Jeff County is I think they get to play Bearden soon. So one of those 2 teams have to win.
I heard that. One of those 2 teams gets.
Now, I heard last week that Jefferson County has the majority of their starters were freshmen and sophomores on both sides of the ball. So I would say that has a little bit to do with it.
And another team we've talked about a lot here on Friday night, we're waiting to see them take the next step, but the next step they've got to take is huge, and that's Loudon. Loudon wins again tonight. So they're on the same path as they were a year ago, you know, running the table, but can they advance in the playoffs? I think that's the key question. So you found out tonight Maryville's a little bit better than what you and Jesse are giving them credit for.
Yeah.
Quick, caller, you on the air? Hello? Hello?
John.
Hello.
Who's there?
That's like somebody's walked away from the phone. We'll move to the next. Quick caller, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes. I was calling to see if you had a Central High score yet.
We have a Central score yet?
Sir, I think Central's off this week due to COVID, aren't they?
Yeah, didn't they supposed to play Halls?
I really don't know.
I think Central had a COVID thing. Did
they?
Yeah, I think so.
I knew you said you didn't have many people call about Central. And I was a 1963 graduate from Central.
Well, good.
I live in Rockwood now, and I thought I would call and see if you knew.
Well, good. First of all, I'm glad we got somebody got something to do with Central that can call. So we appreciate your call. Call us anytime. I think the team they were supposed to play tonight, sir, didn't play because of COVID. I'm not 100% sure. We'll try to find out. Just keep listening, and I'll let you know. Okay. Hold on a minute. Is that right, Cox?
Okay. Yeah, they were supposed to play Knox Central, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And that game was canceled due to COVID.
Their game with Knox Central, Kentucky got canceled tonight, so that's a win to them.
And then I'm not sure.
All right, thanks, sir.
I appreciate you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too, man. All right, it's good to know we do have somebody for Central plays the team on me for sure.
And next week it says Knox Halls.
They should be back.
They should be back. Okay.
So they've been out for 2 weeks. They should be.
Okay.
I've not heard anybody say anything different. We probably won't know till Monday, or maybe there's something happens Saturday or Sunday that will be said about that. But the COVID thing is still biting people, so I stress every week, do what's right, folks, so we can finish this high school football season. Because it'd be a shame right now to knock it out. Made it 6 weeks. A lot of coaches, a lot of administrators, a lot of athletic directors, a lot of people have done a lot of hard work to pull this off. To pull it off, that's all I got to say.
I heard that there is a very dominant fall sport team in our viewing area, and has a coach that has COVID.
A fall sport team. Huh.
A fall sport team that is very dominant. That has tested positive for COVID. I wonder how that will affect that team.
Well, I would think greatly. Because once you take the leader of the pack away, I mean, you can have the best assistants in the world, but sometimes
This is not the head coach. It is a coach on the staff.
Oh, just a coach on the staff.
But still, you wonder with the COVID, Tracy, how it affects you. If you're done for 14 days, and I don't know when the tournament is for this particular sport, but man,
truly might be more than 14. Might wind up being more than 14 days. Could be 20. Who is it? Oh gosh, he can stay on hold all night long.
Gosh.
Well, we've got to listen to his mouth. So let's just go ahead and do this. Let's get it over with. It'll be short and sweet. I'm gonna tell him he's got 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Quick, caller, you on the air, and you've got 5 seconds to talk. 1,
4,
3, 2, 1. As we said, he had 5 seconds.
That was easy.
It was easy. He just wanted to giggle. So we'll not talk to him. He didn't believe us. So.
That's probably the best call he's had.
That's the best. Yeah, it is. It's the best call he's had all year long, right there. Just a little giggle. I mean, he's out there anyway. But
he didn't say anything that embarrassed himself.
Not embarrass himself.
He didn't throw Gaddis under the bus.
No, he
and
didn't.
We don't have to know if he made it to the game or not, which I guarantee.
He's calling back now for round 2.
He got his 5 seconds.
He got his 5 seconds. So. You know what? I bet he was talking to himself right then. Thinking he's still talking to us. If he's watching it on TV.
How many coaches right now do you think still feel like they're in week 1 or week 2 from just where their team normally is at this time of the season due to how much time they lost?
I would say there's a bunch. I wonder how many coaches think they're in week 1 period, like Clinton starting all over tonight. I mean, just starting all over.
Is that Clinton's first home game?
No, I think it's their second. West next week will be 1. I think they had like 4 or 5 in a row there. They've got 4 in a row and maybe 1 away and then come back and play 1 home and then end up on the road or something like that. it's a weird schedule how it is. It's
See, you never know what you're gonna get out of South though. That's why it's so hard to pick them. Tonight they go to Carter and it's 27-11, but yet they beat Anderson County and they beat, who was it they beat a couple weeks ago handily? Sevier County or somebody?
Yeah, it was Sevier County. You know, there's a lot of people thought Carter might win that football game. That coach has done a good job.
Yeah, he has. I'm just saying, you know, you would
I
think.
understand.
But,
look here.
So check this out.
Lee Howard and 8.
Hardin Valley, Jefferson County, and Bearden are all defeated. They've not won a game between the three of them. And I think Bearden's next two games is Hardin Valley and Jefferson County. Who would have ever thought of schools the size of Hardin Valley and the size of Bearden couldn't win a football game?
I just wonder, you know, when Hardin Valley opened up, a lot of kids left from Powell and Carnes and went to Hardin Valley. I wonder if that's stopped for sports-wise now, and those kids are back to going to their original schools.
There's 2,000 kids there, at both of them. Bearden and...
Oh, yeah, they're big schools. They're big schools. But, you know, Hardin Valley, 4 or 5 years ago, was competing for, they were having winning seasons. And
they made the playoffs. And, yeah, and they had it going. But coaching change, which, you know, the guy that's there obviously knows what he's doing. He's won some state championships as an assistant.
He has. He's good, and he's a good guy.
Good guy. But the Bearden, I don't get the Bearden deal.
I don't understand something about Bearden. I don't understand why they have trouble keeping a coach. I mean, then also, why have they not been able to get a big name coach there to coach football?
I think hiring a big name coach in Knox County is hard to do. Clinton's, Anderson County's, Oak Ridge's, Maryville's, Alcoa's, those type systems, you can do about whatever you want to do and put them in a position where they can, you know, not have to maybe teach but a class or two. But in Knox County, I just don't know. I think it'd be harder to hire a big name coach. They took care of roster at Central when they hired him. They had that all worked out and lined up. But I think in Knox County, it is harder to hire a big name coach. Just to be honest with you. And I don't know that a big name coach that's had success wants to come to Knox County and teach 3 classes or 2 classes or whatever it might be. And then your pay, your stipend in Knox County, I mean, I've been told that, you know, basketball coach at Clinton High School, for example, you know, makes $4,000 or $5,000 more a year than any football coach in Knox County.
I don't think a few years ago there was some Clinton coaches got together and got it fixed about supplements at Clinton, or in Anderson County rather. I shouldn't just say Clinton, but Anderson County. So, I mean,
I think they're good.
I
think they're good.
I don't understand, you know, what they are. A lot of people don't understand about coaches, man. They don't understand what type of figure those coaches are to some of those young men and young ladies, whether it's a female coach or a man coach. Either one don't matter to me. They just don't understand what they are in their lives, I don't think.
No.
I think some people look solely at education first and only, and sports is just a thing that has to happen, and they don't really care too much about it. That's just me. We might as well go ahead and get this over. We've let him stay on hold long enough and let him rant and rave for a little bit, and then we'll be through with him for the night. Go ahead, caller. You got 6 seconds.
Yeah, how do you think Anderson County will do in a run for the...
Oh, this is wrong call.
How do I think Anderson County will do what now? I'm sorry. We thought you somebody else. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. The state
run
run for 4A.
How do we think Anderson County will do in 4A?
You think they'll get by Elizabethton? I appreciate y'all's call.
All right.
I think
he's going to listen to us, and we're going to do the comments.
I think Anderson County would be the underdog in that game.
The
Elizabethton game.
All right, let's say for some reason it's first game out, or it'd be the second game out of the shoot, I think. Third would be, no, not for Elizabethton. I'm saying Greenville. If Greenville musters up, does Anderson County muster up with Greenville?
I think Anderson County would have a good chance of beating Greenville. I think they'd be picked in that game to win at home against Greenville. I know they've never beat them in the playoffs.
They have beat them, I think, in.
Well, I'm saying since the change.
Yeah, since the change, right.
Since the change, they've not beat them. I mean, I think Anderson County might have went up there in early 90s and beat them, but I don't think since the 4A change they've not beat Greenville.
Well, to the caller, it's like we say about Loudoun. Anderson County has to take that step.
Yeah.
Nobody can do it for them, so,
and you wonder
wait a minute now. Anderson County beat Elizabethton a couple years ago at Anderson County. Beat them for a couple years in a row.
We didn't say they hadn't beat Elizabethton.
They got it before they got to Greenville.
Yeah.
Because Greenville's been more of a thorn in the side for Anderson County than Elizabethton, really speaking, until last year.
Yeah.
So, to the caller's fact, I mean, you got to beat Greenville and you got to beat Elizabethton, because that's the road that's going to go to Cookeville. And then there's a game after the Elizabethton game that comes from, Middle or West Tennessee?
Probably Middle
Tennessee. Middle Tennessee. So, got to beat them.
I would say that Elizabethton is probably a 2-touchdown favorite in that football game.
Today?
Yeah, I mean, if you were playing that game tonight, you got a sophomore quarterback that started his second game of the season tonight. On the flip side, you've got a quarterback at Elizabethton who is probably going to win Mr. Football.
A lot of difference.
You've got Anderson County right now, who I think had 2 kids that they've lost to knee injuries this week. Both, valuable players.
Valuable players, yeah.
So I think the way those 2 teams are trending right now, that Elizabethton would probably be close to a 2-touchdown favorite in that football game.
Really, Anderson County, if you want to just really be honest, with the no kid and with the young quarterback, both of those kids are sophomores.
Yeah.
So
your best football's ahead of you.
Is ahead of you, I think.
Yeah.
So let's get this call and get it over with. Quick caller, on there.
Man, do I get 7 seconds this time or 6?
Hello?
Can't hear you.
Waiter, I just want you to know.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, you just responded. Try again.
Hello?
Hello? Are you there? Yeah?
There must not be a caller on the line.
Turn your TV down. We can't hear you.
I just want to give a quick shout out to, I'm not going to say the individual's name because he did not want me to say his name.
So you're going to give a shout out to someone but not say who it is?
Give a shout out. Yeah, I'm like Cotton.
So is this like
how does he know if you're how does he know if he's
well, let me talk a little quicker. Easy. Let me talk. He is a consistent watcher of the show. He always watches your show. And I was on the Oak Ridge sideline tonight, and he approaches me. I had no idea who this guy was.
No way he's on the field.
And he approaches me and says, you know what? I appreciate you giving Queener hell, because we Oak Ridge fans love it. And I'm like, hey, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to keep them in a straight line, make them realize who we are.
I'm a big Oak Ridge fan. I'm a bigger Oak Ridge fan than you are.
Did you tell me that you were on the sidelines? Is that what you just told everybody?
Just like you're a bigger Clinton fan, bigger Fulton fan, bigger Maryville fan. Hey, you can be all the. You have all the teams you have in the area to be fans of. Come on.
I've never been to a Maryville football game at Maryville. I don't know nothing about them really. So how can I be a fan?
I thought you took stats last week. What did you say last week? You were like the stat boy or something like that?
I said Fulton basketball. God almighty.
Oh, Fulton basketball. That's all right.
And did you tell us you was on the field tonight?
I was on the sideline. That's right.
They
should have thrown you out.
You know what? I'll probably agree with you there. Maybe they should have.
Yeah, they should have thrown you out.
As fair weather a fan as you are, there ain't no way you was on the sideline.
Yeah, because it was raining a little bit, misting a little bit, and you
No.
were going to get out in that
You
stuff.
might have been over on the side they were on.
Yeah, you've listened. No, he wasn't even that. He's listened to David Clary tonight, and he didn't even go to the game.
That's probably who his shout out to.
I would definitely listen to David Clary all day.
And there's nobody that come up to you and told you, keep on giving me all this grief because you don't, listen, you're a scattered brain caller when you do call.
That's why you got 5 seconds.
That's why you got 5 seconds earlier tonight. That's how much
Don't make me boost your views. I'm already getting text messages saying keep going. Don't make me boost your views by showing up there.
Text message from who?
Yeah, text message
Your
from
sister?
who? No name people.
I'll boost your views from 9 people to 100.
No name people's texting you. Yeah, okay. Keep texting him, all right? If y'all are listening out here, keep texting. Wear him out all night. See you, bud. All right. That's over with. We don't have to listen to him
We need a
no more tonight.
commercial.
We need a commercial. Let's jump out and take our first break tonight. We'll be right back just in a couple minutes.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the Hot Water Wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do. Renai, hot water for all.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
Welcome back to the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. Let's go to the phone here. We got a caller. Quick caller, you on the air?
Hey, it's Coach Neal from Kingston Golf.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
We're doing good, buddy. We're doing good. Thanks for watching the show. And I hear there's another Kingston golf team heading back to the state tournament.
Yeah, we're going back to the state. We got a battle with Signal Mountain again.
So now, last year, were you all the runner-up in the state, and you were the 5-Star Prep Coach of the Year?
Yes.
You must have knew somebody to get that award.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, when's the last time you all were runner-up or state champions? Was that in the 2000, 2001 time frame?
We were runner-up in 98, and then we won the championship in 99 and 2000.
Okay. I got you. And that was all coaching, because I know some of those guys that played, and the talent level was not real high.
Say no.
No, it wasn't. We weren't very good.
One of his players lived with me for 3 years in college, so I can say that.
We did battle with John Cox.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, Coach, when do you all go down there, and where is the state tournament this year?
We're leaving Sunday. It's at Willbrook in Manchester.
I heard the food's good. That's what a guy on the board of control said a couple years ago. We need to keep it here. The food's good.
I don't know if we're going to have food.
Yeah, you won't have food, that's for sure.
Coach, how has the COVID affected your golf team this year? I mean, how different has it been?
Not really different this year with the COVID. I mean, we're not like, we're social distancing.
I mean, golf is sort of a little bit on the individual side anyway, so I guess it's a little easier to do all those things that you're supposed to do.
Coach, do you ever tell your kids, or has anybody just went straight virtual to keep away from people? We've heard stories in some of our viewing areas that kids are going straight virtual, not even coming into school.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. When the football team got a COVID case, I didn't tell my kids to go remote. But I suggested it.
There you go. I don't blame you.
A lot of athletics are doing that right now.
I don't blame you. You know, the deal that's happened to Hall's Golf is a sad situation. Coach McGaw over there, she's a great lady. She's worked hard. She, had a really good chance to have some.
Halls would win the district and win the region, but they got shut down.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Coach, we appreciate you calling, and congratulations, and good luck. And what do they bring back for golf? A gold? What is it? You
get you a gold trophy, that's for sure.
Gold trophies, that's for sure.
It's a big old trophy. We've been lucky enough to bring home a couple of them, haven't we, Spanky?
We have.
Yep. All right, buddy. Have a good night. Thanks for calling, and congratulations.
All right, thanks. Congratulations, Coach.
All right. Night.
That's good to have someone in the area going. Do you think you got a good chance of winning?
Yeah, he's got a good chance of winning. He came in second last year and had, a lot of his, returning players coming back. And they played in the five-star prep tournament and played well down there, and, won the region, won the district at Lakeside. And, he knows he's got one team down there he's going to have to beat. And at Willowbrook, you never know what's going to happen.
I think he said Signal Mountain.
Signal Mountain is the team, yeah. You don't have a clue what's going to happen down there. You just better sit back and buckle up, because it's a wild ride around that place on the back nine. Yeah.
Hey, you can be playing golf good one day and bad the next.
You can be playing good golf down there in one shot, and the next one you're in
trouble.
The only thing that place is missing is a clown's mouth and a windmill.
I heard that.
It's a sad situation. I don't want to get going on that tonight. I'm in a good mood.
Whoa, wait a minute. You didn't took me too far. Is it a bad golf course?
It's a terrible golf course.
Why is it played there then?
Because the TWSA bid it out, and they're the lowest bid, and there's a reason why. And then they did a survey for coaches, and over 90% of the coaches wanted it moved. And I guess I just wasted my 15 minutes of doing the survey because they didn't listen to us and they kept it at the same place. It's absolutely embarrassing. It'd be like playing the state basketball championship at a local rec center.
So is it just a public course?
Public golf course.
But and just not very well taken.
There's nothing good about it.
Nothing good about
except the food.
Okay.
They have good cheeseburgers.
All right. We'll run from there with the cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Take two of them. Or fries too.
Yeah. So you had to you just had to keep digging. I know.
No, I didn't keep digging. If you didn't let me, I'm thinking, why are we playing a state tournament at some place that's not?
They won the bid.
It's not the best. I mean, it's not. It ought to be a really good. It ought to be a nice golf course. I understand sometimes it's hard to get the nicer ones to let kids get on them, but at least middle of the pack. I mean,
Something.
Come on.
Something. It is bad.
Well, that's TSSAA for you. Don't get me started on them, and I won't. So we'll leave it at that. But hey, 483-8112, give us a call. I think Oliver Springs was off tonight.
They had to be.
Yeah.
Meyer Webb, our guy watches the
Ray County won. It looks like they're still undefeated.
I'm telling you, I think all 4 teams this year from 5A, the region up here, the Oak Ridge, West, Powell, Fulton, Carnes, that region, I think all 4 teams could go on the road and win this year.
Okay, let's talk about this region in 5A right here.
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like it's going to be Powell or West, 1 or 2, but they're in the play. They're both those 2 teams to be in the playoffs. Oak Ridge and Fulton's fighting for 3rd and 4th.
Yep.
Either way, because if Fulton beats Oak Ridge or vice versa, either way, he get you 3rd or 4th. The loss last night to Carnes Campbell County's loss last night to Carnes, I think really put a dagger in them. They've got to run the table right now, I would think, in order to get in there.
I'd say that pretty much eliminates them from the playoffs unless they do sweep.
They've got to run. I mean, they've got to run the table.
Yeah.
I think. Clinton probably mathematically is out of it. It's Carnes mathematically out of it.
I don't think so, because I think Carnes.
They still got some teams.
If Carnes beats Oak Ridge, then they would be ahead of Oak Ridge.
Okay.
Yeah, if Carnes
mathematically they're out of it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so we Powell West, Oak Ridge, Fulton. That's what we think right now. It's just
That's what you see.
That's what you see right now. Now on the other side, who do we see? Central, South Dole.
Yeah, and then probably it's according if Halls can ever play football again, but I would say Halls and Gibbs are up there in the race. And
so
then,
you think Halls?
So what happens with Sevier County? You know, they've struggled a little bit, but are they good enough to beat a Gibbs?
What happens if Halls has to miss another 2 weeks? I'd say that probably eliminates them, don't it?
Yeah. So I did see where Central, I guess, is going to play Halls this coming Friday night.
Central's playing Halls?
Central Halls will play each other, and that's a region game.
Okay.
Yep.
What did they do, move some things around?
They must have. I mean, I just was reading on the schedule, and that's what it had updated.
Let me ask you a question. Wouldn't it have been better if everybody had just said only region games this year? Play only region games. Only regions.
What if you're a region and only has 4 teams?
Well, it's the same thing if you're playing a regular season and that region has 4 teams, so 4 teams are going to the playoffs like it is up that way anyway.
But I know, but I'm just saying you're only getting to play 3 games.
I understand what you're talking about.
So
I'm with you on that.
If 2 of them are on the road, then you only have 1 home game.
You take somebody like this district here. What is there? 8 teams in it? Isn't that right?
7.
7 or 8. Okay,
yeah,
7
or 8.
So you got to go out and get 3. You go out and get 3 extra games. I mean, I don't know. It's just a thought. Just a thought. Just a thought. That's all it was.
Yeah, I think all the coaches wanted just to play as many games as they could play because they felt like it was a better chance to play them early than there was late.
I really think the TSSAA should allow a couple of scrimmages.
What would jamborees or scrimmage done? Jamborees probably is the crowd.
I don't think a team at a jamboree puts on that. I don't think it's that big a deal. You don't play long enough
to matter.
So
just one good scrimmage.
One good scrimmage. Have a scrimmage.
The week before.
Yeah, maybe the week before or a couple weeks before. To have had a scrimmage. My theory would be this: to have pushed the season back a week, played just a little bit started a little bit later than what we started, had that scrimmage, teams a week to practice, then the following Friday, play your first football game. So you'd have pushed everything back a week. Everything would have got pushed back a week.
I don't think Cookeville could do that.
Well, maybe they couldn't. Maybe they couldn't. Maybe that's the reason why.
I think that it takes so many volunteers and staff to run that. They have to do it when kids are on campus. And they couldn't probably do it that week after finals.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the best educated guess I could give you.
I heard that.
So, yeah, I heard it's over. The number I heard was like over 400 volunteers.
I heard somebody else say that not long ago. But matter of fact, I'll tell you who told me, who said that. He didn't tell me that. He said it on his TV, and it's Mark Packer. And there's a rumor he got thrown out of a game tonight. He got tossed from the Maryville game.
I heard he was ejected from, escorted out of the Maryville Farragut football game tonight at Maryville. So if
that's water I ain't been escorted out of something.
If you were there, I would love to hear, because I heard he was in an official's face on the sideline or under the goalpost trying to take a picture. And when he was under there trying to take a picture, he was right in this gentleman's face. And I heard he was ejected by the White Hat after play was stopped for a second time after a first warning, and then he was escorted off the field. So
now, is he he always talks about Farragut. Is he a Farragut fan, or do you know?
I don't know.
I thought his kids went to Hardin Valley at one. I thought they all went to Hardin Valley. I might be wrong on that too. I don't know much about him.
I thought his daughter was a cheerleader at Hardin Valley 6-8 years ago.
That's what I was thinking.
I've not watched their show though in so long with the volume on, so I couldn't tell you.
I just got a text there that said basketball's full season, but no scrimmages in basketball.
Yeah, I've got that email there a while back too. No scrimmages, no jamborees in basketball. Just here we go. We got Hall of Fame games. At least we got Hall of Fame games.
Well, that's a scrimmage.
Yeah.
I mean, technically speaking, those are games you don't have to count if you don't want to count them.
Yeah, I don't know if that changed or not. I think maybe if you play them now, you got to count them. But still, it's a couple.
So, okay.
Yeah.
But still, if it's a couple games, and I'm going to find. I think is when the weather nosedives the other way.
Yeah.
I think it'll be tough. Basketball could be even. Think if you're out 2 weeks in basketball, you lose more than one. You lose more than 2 games. You could lose four
to 6 games.
4 to 6 games. So you could lose 4 to 6 games.
It's according to which week it is. You could lose 5, 6 games.
That's exactly right. So it's a whole lot tougher than what football is. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Hello.
Yeah. Hey, David.
Hey,
Miller.
Hey, John.
Hey, I was at the Oak Ridge and Clinton game tonight.
Yep.
And it might become a heated rivalry. There was a lot of extracurricular activity tonight.
Yeah, I seen that on TV. What part I got to see? I did see a little fire tonight out of both of them.
Yeah, I think an Oak Ridge player got ejected, and I think a fan got ejected. But the Oak Ridge player that got ejected, I think he was injured anyway. He wasn't in full pads. He had a brace on, I think.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think he come off the sideline when they had a tackle on the sideline and had a little skirmish right there, and then he come on the field, I think. So from what I could see on TV anyway, that's what it looked like to me. But well, that's good. I mean, that's good for it. Maybe put a little fire back in. Maybe.
Yeah, well, it's 10-10 there at one time, and still had hope.
Yeah, you're right. So Clinton's a young football team, and what's happened to them this year? Put it in the garbage can, and let's start all over for next year.
I know it.
Yeah, it's bad. So let's.
Everybody's going to hold in there.
Hang in there. You're right.
Let's go, David.
All right, see you, John.
All right, bye.
Clinton didn't play Oak Ridge too bad in the first half. It's 10-0. I mean, that's respectable. It should have probably been 30-0, just to be honest. Oak Ridge is one of the best running backs in the state of Tennessee. I mean, he is. He's one of the best running backs.
Here's what I'm going to ask you. I think this is important.
Okay.
How many kids does Clinton have out playing football right now?
45, I think. Maybe 55. 45 or 55.
I think when you see a program start turning in the right direction, your numbers start going up. I think when you see a program going in the wrong direction, you start seeing the numbers go down. It's real easy to join something when it's successful and it's going well.
Oh, everybody wants
and those numbers start growing. When those numbers start going the other way, I think you've really got to ask the question, what's the shape and where is this program at this point in time?
And I think Clinton program is, I don't know how many it's up from last year, but it is up from last year. It's up a little bit.
At 45?
45 or 55.
So they have 1,400 kids in that school, and they've got...
I don't know if it's 1,400. I think it's down near 12 maybe.
So 1,200?
Yeah.
So they have less than 10% of their male population playing football right now.
Yep. That's the way it's been the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, here's what I was told at one time. This has been about 4 years ago. There's a starting lineup in the hallway that's better than the starting lineup that's lining up on Friday night.
I've got you one better than that. There's a starting lineup that has a lot of kids that cross the bridge every morning that can help improve that football team.
And I think if Clinton could ever get back on track again and start winning, you would stop those floodgates.
I mean,
you'd stop it.
It's been going on for a while.
Yeah, and it's time for it to stop. But you're right, it is.
I mean, the hallway plus what goes across the bridge every morning.
It's a ton.
Combined,
it's a bunch.
That hurts.
It hurts bad. It does. It hurts bad.
When you're playing 5A football and the only team that you have close to the amount of kids is Fulton, and they're a 4A team playing up in 5, and you look at those numbers, I mean, I would say Oak Ridge probably has 70 kids, 80 kids dressed out. I know Central the other day had 80-plus kids dressed out. West has 90 kids dressed out.
And at one point, Central was down probably in the 30s or 40s to
in
be
the
up
40s.
in 80s.
That's
once
what I mean.
Once you start winning,
yep.
And they start getting them gold rings.
Yep. If you could stay over there and go to 16, 17, 18 weeks of practice, get a gold ring, play on a state championship football team.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Rob Black used to walk down 90-plus kids out of those stands, when he won 2 or 3 of those straight championships. Everybody wanted to join. He had more water boys than you could imagine. I mean, they just flock in from
everywhere, right?
Yeah. But, yeah, it's funny how that works. But I think if Clinton wants to see their football program get better, that number has to grow.
So this year, 5A, in the last 2 years, has been Central win the state championship and bring the gold ball back. Alcoa brings the gold ball back. Maryville brings the gold ball back. Elizabethton or Greenville brings the gold ball back. Out of those teams I've talked about, which you got to take, I just said Greenville because in the past they have Elizabeth. Is there anybody that's going to be different? You think, right? If we were picking them to go for tomorrow, if tomorrow was going to the state championship, would there be somebody different representing 5A than Central from here? There would be. What about 4A? Would there be something different in 4A?
Elizabethton would be my pick.
It'd be the same pick?
Yeah.
Could Loudon get lucky and beat Alcoa?
No.
I just had to ask.
No. Loudon be lucky to score in that game.
Well, you know, that's what
2013, I think it was. I'll get a text if I'm wrong. 2013, we roll in there, and I'm not sure Loudon scored. And I know what Alcoa's rolling in there with, and I know what Loudon's got, and I'd be to say the same thing. I think they'd be lucky to score. It's just not the same playing field. When Fulton went down there,
why is that?
Well, look at the regions. Look at the games they play. You know, if you look back at the Fulton team, you look back at the Alcoa teams that's beat Loudon, it's not the same. It's just not the same. You know, when you're playing a higher level competition and you step out and you play the Blackmans and the Dobbins Bennett and the Maryvilles of the world, and the other schools playing, I don't know, Sequoia and Red Bank and some of those schools that way, it's just not. It's not the same. It's not apples to apples.
I have not seen anything with Kingsport Dobbins Bennett up there tonight. That doesn't mean that it's not been up there.
How about Catholic having to cancel today?
Yeah, with Science Hill. Let me ask this: Is Kingsport? I know Kingsport beat Oak Ridge earlier in the year. Is Kingsport that good a football team? Is it a team that can come to Alcoa? I believe that game's in Alcoa. And there's it up there. It might be up there.
They'll be lucky to score.
Kingsport will be?
Yeah.
Be lucky to score. And I ask a question, why is that coach over at Alcoa, the defensive coordinator, why is he just not left and become a head coach somewhere?
Probably.
He just got it made to, just got it is he just taken care of?
I asked a guy the same question the other day, and he was from Alcoa, and he was telling me all about Alcoa football, and we got going on, and I asked him the same question. He said he makes more as an assistant coach there and makes more as a teacher there than he could leave and go to any school and would make less money. So between his teaching supplement and his coaching supplement and what he makes from the Boosters Club, he makes more money there than he would anywhere else unless somebody ponied up quite a bit from a Boosters Club. So they take care of their coaches. And
well, that's how you keep coaching staffs together. That's why Maryville's coaching staff, even after they had a coaching change, the head coach, and you brought the younger kid in. I shouldn't say kid because he's not a kid, but you brought him in. Most of those coaches stayed with him, so he had a veteran coaching staff being a young guy. Plus, he had been around that veteran coaching staff too, so that really helps out. You just can't have these doors of rope. I don't think Anderson County's coaches have changed very much neither, have they?
After the Prices left and Davey sort of got his staff settled in, I'm not sure that he's had a lot. You know, you've had the consistency of where it matters.
Now, is Chatterwell defense or offense?
He's defense coordinator.
Okay. Who's the offensive coordinator? Davey the guy, or is there somebody else?
Davey is not the guy. Oh man, why can I not think of his name? That's embarrassing. I should know this guy's name. You've had Sean Cross up there. You've had the Bass, Coach Bass up there for a while. Russ Gillum's been up there for the defense and offensive line ever since Davey's been there. You know, the Anthony Braden. I mean, you just got a lot of the same faces.
That's what I mean. Year in, year out, same faces.
The only
same
thing that's
voices.
changed is Dale Isabel, Chad Isabel, and Jim Ed Wallace. And then your chain gang got busted up this year. They couldn't get them enough rain gear, free rain gear, and a tote to put their stuff in.
I bet that hurt.
Yeah, so they opened up like some kind of gift shop or boutique or something. I don't know what they're doing. They must have had a little extra time on their hands. They're probably selling heaven sent CDs.
Oh, Lord. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
I just have a question, okay? You two guys are talking and you're talking about salaries. What do you mean money from the boosters? You're talking about coaches' salaries.
What'd she say?
What do you mean about money from the boosters?
What do we mean about money from the boosters?
Oh, well, most school systems, and I'll just use Knox County for example, if you get it approved through downtown and you get it approved through the central office, and go through the proper steps, Boosters Club can pay coaches, head coaches, assistant coaches, extra money through their booster or quarterback club to help pay that coach a stipend or a whatever you supplement, whatever you want to call it.
She hung up, but I hope that answers your question. Well, he didn't, and I might be wrong about what I'm fixing to say, but I don't think I am. We used to know a high school basketball coach, and I won't say where he's at, but I think he got all the concession stand.
Really?
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. I'll tell you, Brady.
Okay.
But he always got all the, anything that went on there, it was his concession stand.
Yeah.
He got the, I guess it was money, that was how he got some extra money. He might have used it to pay for whatever, but
It's perfectly legal. And you just got to get it approved. You got to get it okay. Then
and everything's got to be checked. There's a lot. There's a lot of checks.
You even got to pay taxes on it.
Yeah, you got to pay taxes on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's jump out. We'll take another break, and let's see what time is it. Oh, by the time the break's over, we will roll into a little college football. We'll talk a little Tennessee football. We'll be right back just in 4 or 5 minutes, and you can call us at 483-8112 when we come back. We'll see you here in just a couple minutes.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do. Renai, hot water for all.
Breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs. That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Welcome back to the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. And it's just time to talk a little college football, a little UT football. Look there, we've even got a sign up. Thought we was going to have a little Rocky Top coming on there. He's back there doing his.
He's ready. It's been a long time.
Been a long time, hasn't it? Hey, I had a text message while you was talking to a coach there. Asked, do we know if Mays got cleared to play?
As of today, I have not heard. I know last night I was actually reading that, and it was saying, what is the holdup from Sankey? Like, why do they not know? And here's what I wonder, did he even make the trip?
If he wasn't cleared to play, he probably didn't because he didn't make the travel roster.
I mean, I looked at the depth chart. He wasn't on the depth chart.
Then he didn't make the trip.
So he's going to miss a football game because the SEC.
Well, here's what they said to SEC. Here's what I heard.
Okay.
They won't clear him till after the Georgia game. 3 games in. That's what I've been told.
No way.
That's what I've been told.
No way.
Yep. That's what I've been told.
You can't do that to a kid because of where he played.
That's what I've been told.
And you and Sankey go way back.
Yep. I didn't say he's the one that told me. That's what I was told. You got to pay attention sometimes. You learn a lot. Quick caller, you on the air.
Hey, guys. It's Jesse Smithey. How are you?
Jesse, how you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing all right. Just pulling out of Rockwood, Tennessee, headed back towards Knoxville.
Man, Rockwood shellacked Harriman tonight, didn't they?
They did, and that was I didn't see that coming. I mean, I thought Rockwood would win that football game, just the way that they're able to run the football this year with the number of players that they have, but I didn't see a 43-2 game coming at all. And really, the way the game started for Harriman, I mean, they had all the momentum. They were down there inside the red zone. Rockwood had a bad snap on a punt, gave Harriman a 2-0 lead with a safety. Harriman comes right back down. They're in the red zone again, and they just had multiple turnovers tonight, just too many turnovers. Couldn't sustain drives because of those turnovers or capitalize on those scoring chances because of, oh, God, I think I counted 4 or 5 interceptions tonight, and Rockwood made them pay.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I was a little surprised. Did you have a rough week picking games this week? I noticed you started tweeting last night, got off to a rough start, and then did you have Kingston beating Stone Memorial tonight?
I'm sure I did have Kingston winning. I think I saw that they lost in overtime tonight.
Yeah, on a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, and so it's the good thing, though, for Kingston, even though they lost that game, is they're just better this year. They're competing in games, and even though they didn't win that game tonight, I still feel like they're set up to still have a nice season on the long haul, barring some kind of freak injury or anything like that.
You know, the East Tennessee's team, the Oneida Indians, lose tonight after that game day film that you all produced.
Hey, and that was fabulous, man. I mean, that was just fabulous.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, we kind of had a godsend. This is an idea that I've had for a couple of years, but I don't have the capability to do it. And a former VFL Films guy kind of got dropped in our lap about a week before the season, and thankfully he had the people and the equipment around him to be able to pull this off. And I told him all along that I wanted to go to Oneida. I've been up there a few times, and it's just a special place and with special people and an unrelenting passion for Oneida football. And so we called Tony Lambert just to get an okay from it, and he started telling us about Isaac Morgan's wreck, and they still opened the door for us, which shows you a lot about what Oneida is about, that even though they're going through this tough time with one of their own, a young man who was in a car wreck, and really, really bad car wreck, and is the younger brother of their star player, they still invited us up there and welcomed us with open arms and let us in the locker room, just showed their emotions to us, and it translated all on film. And I had people texting me saying, look, I've never been to Oneida. I don't know a soul up there, but I'm an Oneida fan because of that film.
Well, I don't know who all helped. I don't know who all helped you put the story together, but man, hats off. It's a great piece. Everybody ought to watch it.
Yeah, and I hate that they lost tonight, but that's an Upperman program that's been right there in the latter stages of the 3A playoff year in and year out over the last 3 or 4 years. So to go toe-to-toe with them on the road, I believe, I think, and only lose 7-0. I mean, Oneida is still Oneida. They're going to be there in the 2A playoffs, and they got a big game next week at Rockwood.
Yeah, and that's always a tough game down at Rockwood. They always play a really good game together.
Yep, absolutely. So we talked with John Webb about that on the show tonight, and he's good friends with Tony Lambert. Those two programs know each other well. They know what each other's going to do running the football, and it's going to be no secret. It's all going to come down to execution.
Absolutely. What about next week? Is Central Halls play next Friday night? Is that still?
I think that's taken off the schedule unless something changes, which has happened. You think back to week 1 of the season when Carnes was going to be on a 2-week shutdown, and then all of a sudden they weren't, and they were back playing again. So, but right now that game is off, and but things are changing by the day. I mean, we saw Catholic announce this afternoon around 2 o'clock that their game tonight against Science Hill was off, and their game next week against Brentwood Academy is off. So it's an ever-changing, fluid schedule, and games are going to come and games are going to go. But yeah, I hate it that we're going to miss that game. It's the Battle of Black Oak Ridge, I believe, and I think it could have shaped up to be a good matchup between Halls and Central, but that's off the docket right now. There's not a lot of big-time games next week. I would say that Grace Christian and Webb School of Knoxville probably going to be one of the premier games. That's where we'll be at next week for 5-Star Live. And, of course, I mentioned the Rockwood Oneida game.
I gotcha. We were talking a little bit about the Oak Ridge Clinton game here tonight, and talking about 5A, and we went over that a little bit. Let's talk about that Rockwood, Greenback, and all those teams. How is that shaking out right now?
Well, the bad thing for teams like Rockwood and Oneida is that Mex County, who I think everybody thought would take a step back this year because they graduated Aaron Swafford, a Mr. Football caliber player who signed with the Service Academy, and he'd been a mainstay and staple at quarterback and one of the nicest players in Class 2A. He graduated, and I really felt like that might open the door for an Oneida or a Rockwood to win the region and maybe make a longer run in the playoffs. But what Mex County has shown so far this year, it's like they've only gotten better. They got multiple guys now that can take it to the house and have big nights, not just one guy. So for Rockwood, for Oneida, they're still going to have to run through Mex County if they're going to try to make it to Cookeville somehow.
Gotcha. Now, what about, is Grace, Webb, and CAK all in the same division?
Grace, Webb, and CAK are all in the same division. Yeah, TKA, Kings Academy, is the only one that's in a smaller private school classification in Division 2. So some big matchups coming up in the next few weeks with Grace Christian and Webb and CAK, and so it should be a fun time for people that are interested in those programs.
Gotcha. We got a couple viewers that keep up with CAK that live close by.
CAK, I think 6-0 this year. They were struggling a little bit tonight, but really poured it on in the second half, and just one of the more improved programs over the last 2 years under Travis Mazingo. So they feel like they have a chance to make some noise, and Webb is always going to be solid and well coached, and Grace Christian with their passing attack, and Rusty Bradley. So three really kind of clashing styles, and we'll see which one wins out.
Jesse's related to Rusty Bradley.
Jesse is?
Yeah.
Okay. Inside joke, I guess.
No. It's not a joke.
Not a joke.
No, they're both from, they're related.
Hey, Jesse, I was talking to Jonathan at the first tonight about the Powell Central game this past Saturday night.
Sure.
Myself, I wasn't impressed with Central, but Cox tells me they had a lot of kids that were out hurt.
They had kids out hurt, and I think you had a situation where you had a first-year starting quarterback at Central High School really feeling out of his element in that game was put together in a matter of days. I'm sure they were trying to rush in a game plan, and you got some guys that you're used to relying on that aren't out there, and he had a bad start to the game and never recovered. That's a teaching moment for a guy like Ryan Bolton, who's been on the field for some big games, but as Central's star punter. Well, now this year he's handling both duties, and so I just feel like that guy is going to have better days. He's going to look back on that game and laugh someday about just where he was mentally in that game, and he'll grow from it. So the good thing for Central was they were able to move the ball late in the game. Yeah, the game was out of hand, but they still were able to leave there with some type of positivity. But the bad thing for Central is they're off 2 weeks, so it's hard to find any kind of continuity and any kind of rhythm to this season for some teams, and so we'll see how Central bounces back from that loss to Powell, because you're right, there wasn't much to be impressed about by their offense, and they had some bad breaks go against them, a few calls that could have worked their way and maybe gotten them back in the game. But here's the thing with Powell, they didn't even play that great that night offensively. They did. They had a couple of pick six touchdowns. They blocked a punt. They really got them going and got them in the end zone, but they didn't really show their typical offensive identity in throwing the football. Jordan Potts had 2 interceptions early in the game, and but they were able to turn some drives out with their ground game, and that's what's scary about Powell is if that ground game gets going to complement their pass game, they're going to be a tough out in the 5A playoffs.
I thought Powell came a little bit more hyped up for that game than what Central was. That was just my take on it. I might be wrong, but that's just how I looked at it.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype and a lot of emotion surrounding that game, a lot of chatter on social media between the kids and the programs, and then it was just like once the game got the green light, Powell handled the situation better. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. Even though they had some turnovers early, it didn't faze them. They just kept coming back and coming back harder.
Yeah, I agree. I think Central had not played as good a schedule leading up to that game, and I thought Powell, at the speed they played in that game, you could tell they'd played a little better schedule and a little faster than Central was comfortable playing.
I mean, Central was struggling in the pass game early, and so when you bring in Liam Fortner for the Wildcats, it's going to be easier to stop. And so they needed that pass game to kind of open up some run lanes for him, and so it just kind of became a little bit predictable for Powell's defense, and they took advantage.
Absolutely. Well, Jesse, I know you've got a lot to do, and I know it's been a busy week, and the Oneida thing has been a huge hit, and appreciate what you do, and we'll keep plugging on, and we'll let you bounce off here. We're going to talk a little college football. You want to give a Tennessee South Carolina score tomorrow?
The last I saw, Tennessee was favored by 3. I think they covered that spread easily. I don't have a final score in mind, but just my first inkling, my first gut reaction when I saw Tennessee -3, I think they'll cover that with ease. I think Ty Chandler and Aaron Gray are going to be relied on heavily in that game, and I think they produce.
And have you heard anything about Cade Mays?
I have not, no. Somebody asked me that tonight down at the game, but my head's been kind of buried under high school stuff, so I haven't been able to follow it too much. I don't really have a connection to that family, so I don't have any kind of breaking news for you on that front.
All right, man. Have a good night. We appreciate it.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, man.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes, and we'll get started on college football. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do. Renai, hot water for all.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices. Race on down!
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
Welcome back to the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Football, and this is something we've not got to do this year. We're going to talk a little college football. You can call in 483-8112. If you don't call, we'll talk it anyway, and then we'll get out of here. We'll bust through the doors as fast as they'll open. But Jesse Smithey just said Tennessee would cover tomorrow night, and he took Tennessee to win. And it sounds to me like
7:39.
7:39. That's a weird start time, isn't it? Sounds to me like, is that on the SEC network?
SEC network.
Okay. Sounds to me like that Jesse thinks Tennessee's just going to run the ball a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how anybody can pick Tennessee to win on the road in the SEC. I mean,
you don't think they'll go to South Carolina tomorrow night and win that game?
It's Muschamp the coach.
Yeah.
That gives Tennessee a chance.
I really think Tennessee wins that game. Now, if we were talking going to Auburn or Alabama, I might be a little bit different and say, let's wait.
So you think Tennessee football's back?
To a certain extent.
So they're better than they have been.
I think they are. I think
they're better.
I think they're going to be better than they were last year. I think what happened at the end of last year, and you build off that, I think they're going to be a better football team. Their strong suit is going to be their offensive line.
And possibly one of their top linemen's not even going to play.
I don't think that kid's going to be eligible from what I'm hearing and the shows I watch, that he won't be eligible after the Georgia game. Typically, that's the way the SEC does things.
Man.
Now, could they grant it? Yeah. There's 2 or 3 more kids that's waiting on things to happen too. Yeah, there's a quarterback somewhere that they're waiting on that they don't know about. It's the same way. Usually, if you transfer in the SEC for that, it's a little easier for the SEC to do it. But in-conference transfers, there's no guarantee that he's even going to do it. So just because he got through the NCAA hurdle, don't mean he'll get through the SEC hurdle.
Gotcha.
So should the kid be cleared to come to Tennessee? Maybe. Maybe not.
If it was a Kentucky basketball player, you think he'd be in?
No.
You don't think he'd be eligible?
Be the same thing going on. They'd be waiting.
No.
Hey, I seen something on the ticker today about Kentucky basketball, about them wanting to play something up there, and a lot of the coaches have something about a bubble up there or something. And there's some coaches that have said no.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that.
Yeah,
we're not coming up there to Louisville and playing, I think, or something like that. I believe it's at Louisville. They wanted that to be the bubble playing or something. Yeah, I mean, I know that's not football, but you led me to Kentucky and just made my brain. It don't work very much, but when it does, I got to use it.
Yeah, and the whole deal is, you take away from these kids, but they've basically opened the door for transferring. They basically said, you get one transfer.
Yes. I really hope we have basketball this year, which I know we're talking football right now, but I'm going to say, because I think Tennessee is really going to have a really good basketball team.
They could.
They really could have a really good basketball team. I think we might have one of the best coaches we've had ever. And there's been some good coaches at Tennessee. Don DeVoe was a pretty good coach. Back in the day, Ray Mears was a pretty good coach.
You think Barnes is better than Bruce Pearl?
Oh, by far.
Do you?
By far. Yeah, by far. By far. By far. Yeah. Kids are wanting to play now kids won't play for Bruce Pearl too, but Barnes is a good basketball coach. There's no doubt in my mind he's a good basketball coach.
I like Coach Barnes better than Bruce Pearl too.
I think he's
I was just messing with you.
Yeah, well, you mess with me all you want. I'll just be truthful about it.
And talking college football and go back and forth a little bit basketball, our Peyton Manning fan hadn't called it all this year.
No.
He screwed up that Fulton football team. He took over last year, and that's when they started losing. When he left back, mid-2000s, and that, Fulton won a couple state championships in basketball.
That's true.
He might be a black cloud.
Yeah, could be. So apparently, just from your conversations early on here, you really are doubting whether Tennessee wins that game tomorrow night.
I just think for so long, I felt like Tennessee's going to be back this year. They're going to be good. And it's because we were spoiled. Well, now it's the reverse. I mean, they're getting some national attention. I think they're top 25 ranking. And, I hope that's a true ranking, but I just don't know what to go off of.
I think earlier in the year when Tennessee was ranked 25th or 24th, I think that's where they should be ranked today.
Where are they right now?
16.
16 or 17.
But I know you take the Big Ten and the Pac-12 out, and that pushed them up. But listen, how can the Big Ten play 8 games, okay?
And get in?
8 games, and then 1 championship game. And the SEC going to play 10, and they're going to beat each other up all year long. And you're going to let the Big Ten probably worm their way in a national championship spot? No way, Jose. No, I'm telling you, if that's the case, I will not watch that game if Ohio State is in a national championship game. There's no way they deserve to be in that game. No way.
Tell me this. Is there still 4 teams in the college football playoffs?
Yeah.
Okay. So when the SEC team arrives, the SEC champion, they will have played 11 SEC football games, and the Big Ten champion will have played 9 or 10?
9.
Okay.
9. 8 games, and then the championship game. Okay. No way. And then you're talking about the Pac-12. They've not had a team in it in a while, so I'm not even worried about what I'm fixing to say here. Then you're talking about the Pac-12 is going to try to hustle up and play 7 or 8 games themselves just to get in. You notice how they're doing it? They're just getting in just in time before the college football playoff. I think it's a bunch of hogwash is what I think. That's David Queener's opinion and only my opinion. And if you're an Ohio State fan, I'm sorry.
Wonder why the SEC didn't start last week. If you're an Ohio State fan, call us. I'd love to.
Yeah, I'd love to listen to you. We can argue about that all night long.
Why do you think the SEC didn't start last week?
That's a good question.
This is week 3 for the ACC.
Yeah, that's a good question.
They're going to have an advantage at the end of the year.
Who, ACC?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's only one team over there.
No, I'm just saying, if it was even a tougher league.
And Notre Dame is in there now, but Notre Dame's had to cancel a couple games, so, you know, Notre Dame and I don't know how you here's the question. Here's the $50 question. Let's just say Ohio State and Michigan, all them, they don't get nobody in the Pac-12, don't get anybody in it. Who's going to be the 4 teams? Because if you say, well, we get 2 from the
Clemson,
ACC.
2 SEC, and then the Big 12 champion.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how that'll work out.
You know, here's what I'm really finding funny this year. And like I said, I watch a lot of sports channels, and I keep up with it a little bit. There's not a lot of hype this year for Alabama. You don't hear a lot of hype for Alabama. You know all the hype is right now? Florida. Everybody's picking Florida to win the East.
I got a group of buddies that I talk to a lot, and I've told them now for about the last 4 or 5 years that I thought Dan Mullen was the best coach in the SEC outside of Nick Saban. Who else could do what that guy, I mean, look at what he accomplished while at Mississippi State.
A lot. With a program that, I mean,
turned a quarterback in to an NFL quarterback.
He put Mississippi State on the map.
I mean,
someplace that nobody wants to go.
If you go look at his record at Mississippi State, because I've done this, because I've got a bunch of, oh, he's terrible, blah, blah, blah. You know, I hate Florida. Well, I don't care who you like and who you hate. I don't want, you know, Clemson to be good. I don't want South Carolina to be good, because when Tennessee was good, they made a living in South Carolina off, you know, their players.
They did. You're
they
right.
made a living in Georgia for a while off their players.
Off their players.
So I don't want any of those
to get back
teams to
into
be
Georgia, though.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
To get back.
And I don't want him to be good, but at the end of the day, Dan Mullen, I don't know how you could say he's not the second best coach in the SEC.
Which I watch a lot of the SEC Network, and I watch a lot of Paul Feinbaum, and listen to a lot of people that call in and different things, and listen a lot of people that says they know something about football, probably know more than I do, and that's all right too. But I tell you who everybody's saying watch out for. You will, when I say that, you might fall out of your chair.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, buddy. Everybody says watch Ole Miss. Watch Ole Miss. This could be Ole Miss's year. Watch him because of the COVID
Don't
situation.
you wish, though, that he was still our football coach?
Kiffin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like he never left.
Yeah.
Like he was still here.
Because I think if he'd have stayed, we'd be winning right now, big time. Let's get this call right quick. Quick caller, you on there?
Hey, Queener and Johnson, how y'all doing?
We're doing
good. How are you?
What number am I up on the Diet Mountain Dews now?
Oh, it's 10 or 15.
Oh, it went up, didn't it?
Yeah, it's 10 or, it's a case at least.
Boy, that Rockwood Harriman game, different years. Sometimes Rockwood wins, sometimes Harriman wins, don't they?
Yeah, it's one of the longest running series around here, so it's just a rivalry game. You never know who's going to win it, and you know, it's flip a coin.
Jonathan will have to tell me what he drinks.
Water.
Water.
It's all he's drunk since he's been in there. Water.
Water.
Are y'all going to be talking about UT after a while?
All right, we're doing it right now, man.
All right.
You think Tennessee wins tomorrow?
I think they'll win, but a low score.
Low score.
You got on orange goggles, or you got something to back that up?
What's that, Mr. Cox?
I said, are you wearing your orange goggles tonight, or do you have something to back that up?
I'm wearing my orange goggles. I have nothing to back it up with.
I wish I had something to back it up, because if it was, I'd feel a lot better about picking Tennessee to win tomorrow. But there's a guy that calls in named Jesse Smithey. He thinks he knows a lot about everything, and he really only knows stuff about high school sports. So, you know, he says the Vols are going to win, too. He's been wearing his orange goggles for a long time. He thought Butch Jones had all the bricks.
You want me to lay out a score real quick before I get off here?
Absolutely. Lay it out here, buddy.
I'm going to say 28-14.
Okay, 28-14 Tennessee. All right, we'll see.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right, you see.
Thank you, buddy.
I got a buddy that I was at a meeting at the other day, and he's the same meeting I was at. This is typical Tennessee fan, okay? Now listen, typical Tennessee fan. He, as we were leaving the meeting together, he said, it was when we were leaving the meeting together, he said, this is the year. I said, bull. Because I knew what he was going to say. He said, this is the year. I said, this is the year for Tennessee to win the national championship and be on top, right? Because he says it every year. There's fans out there like that. I know a couple. I know two that are out there like that. I mean, I talked to the guy Wednesday, I guess. It's Wednesday I was with him. And he told me that. I'm not going to tell you his name. I'm not going to say it is. But if he's watching, he knows who he is. He thinks Tennessee's going to win a national championship this year. He's all on board right now. And he's probably got his orange PJs on, big orange PJs on probably.
Oh, you know, speaking of, they're all over the place. There are these Tennessee homers all over the place.
Listen, I know a couple in Clinton. Let me just throw this by. Hey, what do you think about this? There's a couple in Clinton that the dad goes to Anderson County games.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Because he has a daughter that's a cheerleader at Anderson County.
No way.
There's a mother tonight. His wife goes to the Clinton and Oak Ridge game. She's from Clinton. He lives in Clinton now. We call her a Clinton girl now. She don't admit it. But she goes to the Clinton Oak Ridge game night and sits on the Oak Ridge side. What do you think about that? How messed up is that and how jacked up is that?
Wow. So Daddy was at AC.
Dad's at AC with
watching his daughter cheer
tonight. And
she lives in Clinton, and she comes to Clinton game but sits on the Oak Ridge side.
It sits on the Oak Ridge side because she's an Oak Ridge fan.
Is that house divided or just a confused
That house is divided. The Farley house is divided. That's Mike Farley and his wife, Sandra. They're divided big time. They need to go to therapy. That's what they need.
They need a good lawyer.
And they might need a good lawyer. One of them might need a good lawyer when it's all said and done, man.
I can't believe you.
I might need a good lawyer when it's all said and done. That's a house divided. I'm telling you, you go to sit on the Oak Ridge sideline tonight, but you're going to show your face tomorrow, maybe at Food City. Shame on you. But I also heard last week. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Last week was homecoming at Anderson County. She was at the Anderson County game with him and had AC painted on her face.
But now she's
at the Oak Ridge. I guess she had OR.
Is she an Oak Ridge alumni?
Yeah, she's Oak Ridge alumni. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Her son plays basketball at Oak Ridge High School.
Sounds confusing.
Yeah, he's got a confused mother. She don't know. She's confused.
Wonder if she'll sit on the Clinton side during the Oak Ridge Clinton basketball game.
She might. I don't know. I just wonder what happens if Oak Ridge and Harris County plays. Where does she stay? She go over and sit with Mike, or she come sit over on the Oak Ridge side?
I guess she'll be.
And I can tell you this much. You know, we talked about a guy getting thrown out tonight.
That's terrible.
I thought I was going to get thrown out of a basketball game because I sat with her at a middle school game, and I've never seen the beat they went on with, but that's beside the point. So you can get thrown out of these games real easy. You got to be careful. You can't bash the officials. If you're going to do it, you got to do it behind plexiglass.
Hey, ask Mark
They
Packer.
can't listen. They can't get on you if you're in the press box doing it.
That's
They
right.
can just call and threaten you after the game. Oh man, the lines just lit up big time off this. Maybe this is a lawyer calling in to give me some legal advice. Go ahead, caller. You're on air.
I'm just going to give you a score right quick. Like 23-20, late field goal.
23-20. Who wins? Hello. Who wins? He hung up. I guess Tennessee wins because he's a Tennessee fan. Quick caller, you're on the air.
Hey, I know it's late. I was just wondering, you guys want to know what really happened with Packer tonight?
What happened? Tell us.
Well, what happened was there was 3 or 4 pass interference calls, and Packer was in the Maryville or the Farragut press box. You know, they got 2 press boxes up there.
Yeah.
And he came down on the field under the goalpost, took out his camera and took a picture of the referee who threw the flag on the pass interference. He took a picture of him, came out on the field, and the refs asked him 3 or 4 times to get off the field, and he wouldn't leave. And so the officers came. And they were about to cuff and stuff him when they escorted him out of the stadium.
Wow.
So wonder why
I'm pretty sure somebody's going to have this on video.
I'm sure they are.
Caller, and I assume you were at the game, but I wonder why he was even on the field to start with.
Well, this was my question: is why was he in? My question is, what's the connection to Farragut, and why is he in the Farragut press box? But anyways, when he was leaving, he was heard saying that he's done with Maryville, and he's got to go there and call their game on his production in about 2 weeks.
How's it Maryville's fault that he got thrown out tonight? I mean, just because it was at Maryville apparently, but I don't know how it's I mean, they don't have anything to do with the officials. I mean, seriously, I don't know the situation, but
his whole problem was he was shouting from the Farragut press box at Maryville before he came down on the field that the refs were all Maryville grads. And it turns out that the gentleman, the ref that he walked out under the goalpost into the end zone, he walked out there and he took a picture of him with his phone right in his face. And he said he was down there to document that ref was a Maryville grad.
What?
I mean, you could.
So he literally was on the field.
No, he was in the end zone under the goalpost.
Wow.
And he would not leave the field until the officers came, and they basically told him, "We don't want to arrest you." And he was saying, "Why are you singling me out? I'm Mark Packer. I'm with the media."
Yeah.
Well, I'm just telling you guys, it's going to be interesting when he has to show back up there in 2 weeks and walk into their press box to call their game.
Is it at Maryville or is it at Bradley Central?
Yes.
It's at Maryville?
At Maryville.
Okay.
Hey, caller,
that might be
to me, an easy way to fix that is to move that game to Friday and tell him he's not allowed to come.
Yeah. That's real simple, really.
Well, I'll add this on top of it. There was some Maryville fans that were not too happy about the fact that he was holding up the ball game.
I'm sure.
He's lucky that they didn't get a hold of him, and he's damn lucky that, excuse my language, that they didn't cuff and stuff him.
I heard that.
Cuff and stuff him.
So somebody got to have video of this.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody
we
does.
need it. We need it. If you'll tweet it at BBBTV12, we'd love to see it.
We'd love to see it. Well, maybe tomorrow he wakes up and decides he needs to apologize for his actions. I hold my hand up. I've had to do that before, so.
Hey, caller, tell us a little bit about the game tonight. Did Maryville come out a little slow and then they got rolling there late?
Yeah, the offense had a little trouble getting going, but you know they did enough to get it done.
Gotcha. And then who do you have this coming week?
I'm not sure who Maryville has.
And then you got Bradley Central.
I know that Alcoa has. I'm going to be interested to see what Alcoa does against DB. That'll be a good ball game.
Yeah, it will be. We talked about that earlier night. It should be a good football game too. We're anticipating that game also.
Well, caller, hey, thanks for.
Appreciate
Maryville plays Fulton next week.
Well, you know, there's the account, so it should get pretty good.
Yep.
Here come next few days.
Cuff it and stuff it.
Thank you. Well, sometimes you do get a little wound up in the situation, and you have to. It takes a bigger man to come back and say.
I think
he don't have no choice, but I shouldn't say that. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
I think in the position like Jesse's in, I think the reason he's so well respected and well liked is because he always stays neutral.
Yeah.
You can't go there.
It's hard, and I've done it before. Okay, Brad Jones is sitting back here, and he can tell you that I've done it. I've wore the officials out. I do some of it in just good fun because I know Gary Kennedy and Greg Porter and some of those guys, and you know it's not all right, but it is all right with them, and they know I was in Daytona last year with both of those two guys and sat and ate with them at lunch like we do every year. We're down there, so. But it is hard. It's easy to get on those officials, but also I have to say this: it's easy also to watch Brad run the tape back, and you see that they've either missed the call or it didn't happen. Period. So it is when you got replay at your advantage. Quick, caller, you on the air?
Hey, good evening, our boys. Can you tell me the update on Catholic and the school up there at
Santil?
Yes, sir.
COVID
won. Game was canceled not because of COVID-19.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's just be safe and go Vols.
All right, thanks, man.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Like I said, it's easy to get on the officials, and when we've got replay, it can go back and just run it over and over and over, and you know, it's really easy. But those guys have a heart. You know, let's just be honest. That's a job I wouldn't do for nothing in the world. Take the criticism they take. They don't get paid very much, and
football's the easiest one of them all.
You think it is?
Has to be.
I don't know. I don't know. When you got three on the court in basketball.
The fans are right there on top of you. It's a lot more fast-paced.
Well, it is fast-paced, but still,
I think football would be the easiest one of the three. Of baseball and basketball and football, I think football would be the easiest one of the three. I asked a guy that I really like that watches this show, and he does all three. And he told me that with a 7-man crew, that football...
I'm sure with a 7-man crew, it does make it easier to do.
With a 5-man crew,
I think they miss. There's a lot of calls that it's. Let me just back up and say this tonight: 26 penalties in the Clinton Oak Ridge game tonight, and I'm not saying that there should have been a flag on every one of them, but I also say this too: I think in high school football, you could throw a flag on every play, just about.
Yeah, that wouldn't be much fun.
That wouldn't be much fun. So tonight, we got to see more of the officials. And that become a conversation piece, not only for, apparently, I listened on the radio coming down here, to the station. So that become more of a conversation piece than actually the Clinton Oak Ridge game was. It was more about 26 penalties.
I wonder if it's because of just the tempers and the personal fouls and the
I think it's just that, and I think
they get a little more tense. I think when that happens.
It does. They do. They try to do is get control of the game. So I always say this: why did you ever lose control of the game? Why did you ever lose control of the game? Don't lose control of the game. Then you don't have to throw 52 penalties. You don't have to have 52 flags in 30 seconds to get control of the game. Keep control of the game from the kickoff. Tell them from the get-go that this is how it's going to go down. So I think Tennessee wins by 10 tomorrow night.
So you're, I mean, I think if you
and I'm not going home and putting orange PJs on either, so I'm not like my buddy.
I think 35. I think 35-24 would be a good score tomorrow for the Vols.
35-24.
Yeah, 35-24. That's just more of me just hoping. I'd have nothing to stand there, but
I was thinking more of like a 17-7 game, or something like that. You think it'd be that high scoring?
I think it could be.
Could be?
Yeah, I think it could be. I think if Tennessee gets to running the football and gets going and gets a decent lead, then South Carolina maybe scores one late to make it a little closer. I don't think. And Muschamp said Tennessee's number. He's beat them more than they beat him, but
I heard him talk about that today.
I don't know.
Hey, how about Jeremy Pruitt? We'll talk about this if nobody calls. We'll get out of here. How about Jeremy Pruitt getting a contract extension but turning down the raise?
Yeah.
I think it's a class act.
We've got a football coach here. We don't have Butch Jones. We got a football coach.
Yeah. I just think he's a class act. I hope everybody gives him. I hope a lot of people don't get. If the season turns like most people are predicting that Tennessee will be 4-6, best 5-5. Because if you take the way you opened it up with me tonight, it's on the road. Tennessee's going to lose. So if that's the case, Tennessee's going to lose 5 football games on the road this year.
Yeah.
So 5-5 is the best. 4-6 seems
Let's
possible.
do this. Let's watch this football game tomorrow, and then next Friday night we'll try to give a good prediction on what we think their record will be.
Do you think this is the right team to watch it against South Carolina, or are we just going because it's on the road?
I think we can see good or bad.
Okay.
JG is a big question mark. How good's that kid going to be? I mean,
but you have to give him a little credit for coming back and putting up with it, don't you? It's got to be tough skin, man.
I don't know.
Would you have left?
I don't know if it's about leaving. I know I wouldn't left. No, never. That's not what you do. That's what people do these days, but that's not what you should do. That's what I mean,
a transfer.
Yeah.
He could have transferred,
He could have, but...
Do you leave? Would you have left after he... I mean, listen, the media, he took a beating last year.
He did. But I still don't know if he's consistently good enough to play at a high level to win 7 or 8 SEC football games.
So I don't know this. I don't know if Pruitt named a backup quarterback. Yeah. Who is it? Stroud? Is it Stroud?
No. Guy came in, Maurer.
Maurer?
Yeah.
So apparently Bailey.
Fourth.
He's fourth.
On the depth chart, Bailey's fourth.
I wonder if that tells me we're going to redshirt him.
I don't know.
He's supposed to be the deal, man. He's supposed to be the real.
I was wondering if it was telling me that he was overrated.
Well, he did come in a little. He did have a late start because of COVID.
Yeah.
So anyway. Yeah. All right, folks, we appreciate the calls tonight and the conversations tonight. Week 6 is in the book. We're rolling right along, so let's keep doing what we're supposed to do at the games, and everything maybe will be okay, and keep our fingers crossed. Wait a minute. Got a call here at the last second.
Better be a good one.
Yeah, better be a good one.
Might be your attorney.
Might be. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
What do you say, guys?
Hey, what's going on?
You know Brad don't pay overtime. Why'd you call me?
Make y'all stay a little bit longer.
I'm just kidding.
Y'all doing a good job. I enjoy watching the show. I'm just disgusted, frustrated, just sick of losing. I know we're a young team, talking about Clinton. I know we're very young, but we could have won that game tonight, really. Oak Ridge didn't come to play. I thought I would see better play out of Oak Ridge, but you know, we played well enough defensively to win that game tonight. I mean, second half was turnovers, but we should have had the lead going into halftime. We was down 10-0. First quarter 0-0. Offensively, I guess the COVID was rusty. You know, I don't think we crossed midfield all night. Maybe once. I don't know, but it's just frustrating.
It is. But man, I just listened more coming on the radio, not listening to Jim Harris talk about freshman after freshman after freshman after freshman playing. So, man, that's a hard chore. But John, I think you're right. I don't think Oak Ridge played very well tonight. And Oak Ridge right now better get their offense straightened out, or they're in some deep trouble because their defense is carrying them right now. Anybody can say what they want to tonight because they put 36 points up on the board, but I don't think that game shouldn't have. It should have been more than that maybe if Oak Ridge is clicking, but their offense right now is just not. They got some problems somewhere. I don't know what they are, but they got some problems.
Well, they looked really good against Farragut, a few weeks ago. They come out of the gate soaring, but tonight, I know Coach Gaddis, he was wanting to come into this game tonight. I think he's wanting to establish the run. And they didn't do very well. I mean, Jackson, he brought some runs there. Finally, he got loose, but they did a pretty good job with him, I thought.
But in the first half, Clinton kept them in check pretty much.
Right.
They kept the running game in check and I thought they done a really good job on that. What hurt Clinton a lot tonight more than anything was punting the football. I mean, Clinton did not punt the football very, very well tonight and gave Oak Ridge numerous opportunities to be really short field advantage. I mean, like I said, that game should have been a whole lot more than what it was. I just don't think Oak Ridge is clicking right now. I think they got something to work out. I don't know what it is. They're playing and living by their defense right now, that's for sure.
I thought we had the one punt where it went over his head, maybe, or he dropped it.
Yeah, he still had a chance. He still had a chance to punt that ball. And after that, they changed punters and went to someone else. But I think one punt went but 13 yards, maybe. And
right, I thought it was better overall tonight. Really, just than what it's been.
Oh, well, okay. I'd hate to have seen it before then.
Right.
But I just think with the COVID, all the COVID stuff this year, no scrimmages, no nothing. And me and Cox talked about that earlier tonight. With all that stuff, football is so messed up right now. If you're playing good right now, you're lucky. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody's running through these times. And, I made this comment tonight. And I don't know how you feel about this. I really thought Clinton maybe should have not played this game tonight. They should have just been out for 2 weeks and only getting to practice. I don't know. I don't know what's right and what's wrong. I'm just giving my opinion of what I thought. But I thought it's not going to get any better next week neither. That's for sure because West comes to town.
Yeah, it was weird. You've been off 2 weeks and then, you're playing Oak Ridge and it's just a weird vibe tonight. But coming in, I thought, I didn't have my hopes up. But the way the game started out, Clinton looked really good. I thought defensively they was holding Oak Ridge. But we were just backed up pretty much the whole first quarter of the kicking game. Oak Ridge pinned us back deep. And we had a center snap over the head there early, and then the defense held. We was on their end of the field. Oak Ridge was pretty much all night, seemed like, but we just generated any offense.
You could tell it's a young football team just by the mistakes that are being made, like the kickoff stuff. You could tell the coaches were trying to correct some of that, but to let that pooch kick hit the ground and not catch it, it's just hard to drill it in young kids' mind what's going on and the speed of that game, how much faster some of those kids are than what a freshman is still yet. So an 18-year-old or maybe playing against a 14 or 15-year-old or so. A lot of things you can see if you sit back and you're really a football fan and you know you're looking at freshmen and underclassmen playing against some kids that are seniors and stuff like that. It's a lot of difference. So I agree with you, but I think better days are coming.
Right, exactly. And, you know, Coach Keith, he wasn't happy on this post-game show. You know, he really wasn't happy with the coaching. He said he apologized to the Clinton community, and he's not happy. And but you know,
like I said, losing all the time. I mean, there's just no continuity right now, and that's probably the problem. I think he'll get that eventually worked out. Like I said, I'm gonna keep my optimistic about it as, it's coming down the road because there's a bunch of young kids playing, and there's a bunch of young kids that are coming that's going to be fairly good too. So with what we got there, maybe there's a game or two that they can get down the road, but we'll see. I think maybe they get back to the routine again. Maybe it'll help them out.
Yep, Jonathan used to talk about there earlier about kids going across the bridge. I don't think seen that this past year. I know of only one middle school kid went across the bridge, but you go back 3 or 4 years, 5 more than that. But yeah, right now I don't see that many came up there.
I think you can go back.
Got some good young talent. I know they, North Middle and Lake City. I watched them play last week, and they had a lot of underclassmen on the field, but wasn't that many Clinton transfers up there. So I think Coach Keith, he's got the kids believing in him and staying home. He's just, his first year, but that's the way I see it. But
yeah, I think this is a problem that goes back to 2005, 2006, if you want to be honest. I think that's the
right. You go back to when
if you really look at it, about 05, 06, you had Larry Kerr, Mike Gwynn, and Mark Eldridge. That's what Anderson County had to offer. And if you look at you look at a kid that coaches for you all now that went up there and played. His sister went up there. You had several families during that time when the floodgates were opening up, and you had that run of those 3 coaches up there. Anderson County was playing AA sports at the time, and they had 3 really well-known, well-liked coaches that are well-respected across the area. And it's not stopped. I just got a text saying there was 4 that came from 8th grade last year to up there.
Well, it's not as bad as it's been in the past. The past has been 10 or 12. Probably.
Yeah, but I mean, you do 4 and do that over 5, and then 4, and then 5 more. All of a sudden, you lost 20 kids.
That's right. I agree. I agree with you. One's too many.
But if you go back, that's when it started.
Yeah.
Say what you want to.
Well, it also started when an individual went to Grace, and he took a bunch of Clinton kids with him too, to Grace. When a bunch of them went to Grace. It started then too. I mean, that was really the downfall of the Clinton program.
But
that's where the bottom fell out of the Clinton program.
The privates are going to win some of those. They're going to get some of those.
This is before the privates were really big.
Yeah.
This is back in the early days. But
it just didn't help that Clinton was struggling then in multiple sports.
In multiple sports.
And Anderson County was winning a lot of basketball games. They never got out of the region, but they were winning a lot of basketball games. The baseball team was playing in the state tournament, and the football team was, very competitive.
Yeah, and at Clinton, John, you know this better than anybody. You keep up with Clinton probably more than I do even. Clinton traditionally has a pretty good football team, pretty good basketball team, and the girls' side is down usually. In the last couple of years, the girls' side has been up, and Lockhart's been so-so, and the football's been down. It's sort of the pendulum has swung just a little bit.
Well, Clinton boys had, a pretty good team this past year.
They did have a pretty good team.
That's as farthest they've been in about 15 years. But, yeah, the girls is improving.
That's my point. Clinton boys basketball it sort of went down, and the pendulum swung over to the girls for some reason. But look at Anderson County girls. They barely had enough last year to finish the season.
Right. Oh, they've got Coach Anasicki, and I've been privileged enough, I watch them practice. I work up there at one of the schools, and they come in there and practice, and Coach Anasicki's got them girls. I mean, got them working. She's I think some of the Pat Summit come out in her, and she's just establishing her identity or whatever. But those girls are working hard. I tell you that right now, and.
Well, I can tell you this, keep the faith, because your buddy John Miller called tonight, and he's still on board with us. He's keeping the faith too. So as long as we keep John with us, we're all right.
Well, and I told John, well, John hung up, and I told him this. I think you got to see more kids out for football. You got 40, 45 kids. Your numbers have to get better. There's a lot. I know, talked to Coach Woodard a couple weeks ago, and I know the middle school team they were pretty good last year, right?
Yeah.
Clinton middle school team, and I think a lot of those kids stayed there, and they're probably freshmen like we've talked. But yeah,
we got some kids in from Oak Ridge come in helped us out this year. So
yeah, there's some kids transferred up from Oak Ridge came up.
I mean, you need Jimmys and Joes. There's a lot.
We'll take anybody who wants to come.
You need consistency
right,
from a head coach.
Everybody likes transfers.
Everybody likes transfers. Yeah, they sure do.
I'm going to ask you a question here. I've not asked anybody this, but I've noticed this. Why would Clinton people be training kids from other areas in Knoxville against teams you play in the Clinton facility?
What? I can't hardly hear you, John.
I don't even know if I should answer this
He said he couldn't hear you.
I said, why would Clinton coaches or trainers or coaches, however you want to look at it, be training other kids outside of Clinton inside that Clinton indoor facility?
What's that now? I can't.
I'll call you later. I'll call you later.
He said he'd call you and tell you and talk to you.
Okay, give me a call. And I heard tonight also some of the numbers, I don't know if it's true or not, it's leaked out. In Anderson County, they'll be playing 5A next year. And them and Clinton's numbers are about equal. And that's what I heard, but I don't know if it's true or not. But those numbers should be coming out here pretty soon.
I heard that Clinton's about anywhere from 150 to 180 kids bigger than Anderson County, and I was told that it's going to be really close.
Well, you could be on the bottom. You could be on the bottom end of 5A, or the top end, or in the middle.
That's where they are right now. Clinton's bottom end of 5.
Clinton's bottom of 5.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
At 1,200, you're in the bottom.
All right. We'll see. I've not heard either way.
Yeah.
So
You told me earlier 1,200.
Well, that's what I think is 1,200. It could be more than that. I've not heard the figures this year.
Fulton was a larger 4A school in the 900 number.
Think Fulton will go back down 4A?
I would say they should.
Yeah, I think they have.
Unless Seymour and Gibbs and a bunch of those schools do the 5A route again, and then you have no one to play within 70 or 80 miles of you. I mean, that puts you, and then I would say the Fulton football team would have to move back up to 5A because financially you don't have enough funds to play a 4A schedule when 6 of your opponents are more than 100 miles or 90 miles away or whatever it is, and they bring no fans.
Right.
especially after a year of COVID where you're limited to a third of capacity and concession stands aren't really even selling burgers. So I mean, it's according to what other people do around you. I don't think anybody's scared of Fulton anymore like they were 4 years ago. So I think you might get the Seymours, the Carters, the Gibbs, the Halls, some of those teams that could have played in 4A that decided to go 5, not Halls. I don't know why I said Halls. You know, they bumped up, not thinking Fulton was going to, but Fulton didn't have a chance. I mean, the only school that would have been 4A that, you know, they would have had less than an hour and a half drive would have been Anderson County. And then if you get shipped to Greenville, you're driving an hour and a half to play Greenville and Elizabethan, and then Sullivan South.
Yeah, I mean, and all them up there.
So who are you going to play?
Yeah,
you can't go broke playing football. But that's why we have too many classifications in the state of Tennessee that makes these holes open up like this, where you've got a 4A that's, you know, divided in such big gaps. And then you got a 5A where they all move to, and you've got 16, 18 teams that don't have to drive more than 10 miles.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, John. I mean, if you all could have played 4A football this year, the last couple of years, I think it would have helped you in the fact that you could have won some more games. But at the end of the day, it goes back to what I said, I feel like.
Right. Win more games and attract more kids to your program.
Yeah.
Keep your head up, John. Sun will come up in the morning. It'll be all right.
I'll call you on the way home because I do want to ask you about that.
Yeah, give me a call, and Big Orange, and look forward to them. I think we want to win by about 17, so go long.
All right, see you, John.
See you, bud.
All right.
Actually, my phone's dead.
All right, folks, we've enjoyed it tonight. Like I said, we'll be back next week. We'll be able to talk a little bit about Tennessee football a little bit more. The first game will be in the books. We stamped I don't think there's any SEC teams canceled that I know of. If they have, we have not heard that there's any teams that have canceled. So we'll be right back here next week on the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard, and we look forward to seeing you next week and taking your phone calls. We'll see you next Friday night.
Go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the Hot Water Wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do. Renai, hot water for all.
Breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs. That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
And welcome into this week's OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by the coach James Gibson, and tonight we are in Clinton as Oak Ridge has hit the bus, and they are going to be taking on the Dragons tonight as we welcome in our title sponsor, OEB Law. OEB is an East Tennessee-based law firm with a national practice. OEB is led by Timothy G. Elrod. Elrod is from and still calls Anderson County his home. OEB is practiced in state, federal, and city courts. At OEB, they treat their clients like family and are proud to have earned a reputation as East Tennessee's premier personal injury law office. And that's why they've been voted Best of Knoxville for the past 3 years. I'm here with the coach, James Gibson. Coach, it's wet, but we're here.
Yeah, it really is. We've had some much-needed rain, so it might be kind of interesting tonight.
You know, we've been covering smaller schools, which is always great, but it's also fun to come out and cover the bigger classifications, too, and we get that tonight.
Yeah, I always love getting over here to the large classifications and see their new facilities, like Clinton's new indoor practice facility. It's top of the line over here, so I'm excited to watch Clinton play tonight.
Clinton's got a brand new head coach. This will be his first time coaching in this series, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, as well as going over other games going on in the area as well. But first, let's take a timeout. You're tuned in to the OEB Law Game of the Week.
I'm Ray Varner, and we've got the vehicles you need to make the most of this season.
Whether you're exploring the great outdoors or cheering on your favorite team, let's take your fall to the next level in this new 2020 Ford F-150, $24,990. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $40,986. New 2020 Ford Fusion, $19,698. At Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, we are Ford Truck Country. Come and see us today. Shop RayVarnerFord.com.
OEB Law is excited to be a part of this year's football season. School spirit is at an all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit wreckintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer. Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices. Race on down!
Welcome back into the OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by the coach, James Gibson, and we are at Clinton, where Oak Ridge is in town. The Wildcats going to battle the Dragons in an Anderson County rivalry. But first, let's talk about some teams in our area before we go over tonight's game. We got a local COVID alert, James Gibson. Coalfield had a game scheduled tonight against Gordonsville, and it was canceled. And Sunbright picked up a game against Cloudland. So the schedule changes. Just we see them week after week after week. And I love seeing some schools who normally wouldn't play each other pick up on the fly. I think that's really exciting, but kind of a bummer we don't get that Coalfield-Gordonsville game.
Yeah, Gordonsville is always tough and very similar to Coalfield athletically, year in, year out. So that should be an annual matchup. I'd love to see that every year.
Yeah, for sure, because it's always a game that could possibly end up happening in the playoffs, as it has before. Rockwood and Harriman, they're going to have their annual meeting tonight. What do you think about that one?
The 101st game these two have played, and it's going to be a good one, I believe. Harriman had better utilized its talents, its talent athletes that it has early, because Rockwood will try to control time possession. It's going to be a big game.
It's always a big game when those two teams get together. You know, a game I'm going to be watching for score updates tonight is Farragut at Maryville. People probably always expect Maryville to win every game, but this could really be a good one.
This is a big one that Maryville better be prepared for, because Farragut, they will be playing their best football. After Farragut head coach Ed Courtney announced he was battling cancer for the second time, this team has really surrounded their head coach and have been playing very hard. So keep an eye on that game as we move forward.
The whole entire area has been covered in rains from Hurricane Beta, and so the fields are wet. No threat of rain here tonight at Clinton, but as I said, field conditions are wet, as they should be on fields all across East Tennessee. As we get prepared for OEB Law Game of the Week, OEB turns your rack into a check, any rack, big or small, and that can turn your life upside down with bills, inconvenience, lost wages, and stress. OEB understands and knows you need a full and fair compensation for those losses, and to help you get your life back to as normal as possible. So go to wreckintoacheck.com for more information on that, or call 865-546-1111. Again, we are at Clinton, and Oak Ridge is in town. We'll talk again about some games around the area, and then we'll get into our featured matchup tonight on the OEB Law Game of the Week.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care.
That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
You won this year's chili cook-off. Our girls played in the softball finals last spring. You're not just another policyholder to us. We remember your name. Hi, Cheryl.
He remembered my name.
Because it's your name. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Jeff, Mary, Dan, Sarah.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
Hi, I'm Ray Varner, and we've got the vehicles you need to make the most of this season.
Whether you're exploring the great outdoors or cheering on your favorite team, let's take your fall to the next level in this new 2020 Ford F-150, $24,990. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $40,986. New 2020 Ford Fusion, $19,698. At Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, we are Ford Truck Country. Come and see us today. Shop RayVarnerFord.com.
And welcome back into the OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by James Gibson as we go over some games in the area. You know, last week we saw Oliver Springs beat Greenback in what felt like it had a WWE babyface heel drama. And throughout the broadcast, we talked about the tough schedules those two teams had faced. Well, Greenback didn't want to ruin a theme as the Cherokees were supposed to have a home game tonight against Lenoir City, but instead decided they wanted to take on a tougher opponent, COVID-19. And so that game got canceled, and Lenoir City picks up the victory. But I got to ask you moving forward, and we'll tell you what Greenback has moving forward in just a second, but does that Oliver Springs game, which led to Humble Pie, does that Humble Pie serve as like Popeye's spinach for this team moving forward?
You know, I really think it does. I think it was a good opportunity for that young team to learn from, and the coaching staff. Let's be honest, that coaching staff is not used to losing. So them being, 0-4, 0-5 now, that's significant, and they're not going to be okay with that. So they're uncomfortable right now, and sometimes it's good to be uncomfortable.
And they do have one win by benefit of a COVID-19 victory, and now they have a COVID-19 not loss. It doesn't count as a loss, but it is a forfeit and gives Lenoir City a win. Greenback, they've got a week off now, so they've got this COVID-19. Next week was a scheduled bye. They'll have that one off unless they try to find a game to schedule and use this as a bye week. I don't know. You never know.
You never know.
With the way this season's worked out. But Greenback does have a game against Coalfield on October 2nd, and that will be a big chance for Greenback to maybe turn the season around, because Coalfield is likely looking at, well, let's just say they're probably the favorite to win the region championship now. The game between Coalfield and Oliver Springs will probably be the one that people will look at and say that's what's going to decide it.
That Coalfield game is huge, and that's an understatement for Greenback. They're going to be looking for that, and they're going to be well prepared for that matchup. So it's a little bit further down the road, and that'll give them opportunity to get healthy and to study the playbook a little bit, get the rust knocked off of them a little bit.
So this game tonight not being played also gives Lenoir City a week off to prepare for a trip to Walker Valley. That's who they will face next week. Midway's 3-1 on the season, and Greenway fans might be upset with me for saying that the Coalfield Oliver Springs game may determine a region champion, because Midway's 3-1, only losing to Rockwood in week 1, and they lost to Rockwood in double overtime on a 2-point conversion by the Tigers. Tellico Plains is 4-1 and hasn't allowed a point in the 4 wins, even though one of those wins was a COVID forfeit. That'll be an interesting game to watch tonight.
Yeah, Midway is really tough, and they can score in bunches. But Tellico is playing some great defense. I mean, some outstanding defense. So let's keep an eye on that one as we move forward with this game.
The Red Devils of Halls have but one blemish, and it's a COVID forfeit last week. They're on the road at Powell tonight. First off, Powell looks very, very impressive. Secondly, you think Halls will be able to challenge the Panthers?
You know, I really think they will. They've got a good coaching system over there, and they're really turning things around. So I look for them to challenge Powell early, but then I expect Powell to kind of run away with it in the second half.
Taking a look at other games around the area, as we've seen that up on our screen, Anderson County's at Jefferson County tonight. We talked about the Harriman-Rockwood game. Kingston goes to Stone Memorial, and the Yellow Jackets undefeated on the year, looking to keep that ball rolling, and Stone Memorial struggled, so that'll be a good opportunity for a win.
This could be a huge season for Kingston moving forward.
Oliver Springs has the night off. Coalfield gets that victory over Gordonsville. Midway at Tellico Plains, like we told you. Oakdale goes to Red Boiling Springs, and that is another opportunity for Coach Voiles to get a win, as Red Boiling Springs typically they struggle in their football program.
Yeah, they're definitely up and down, and Oakdale's up this year. They've pushed big. They've got a big win over Wartburg and various other programs. They challenged Coalfield. So, yeah, that'll be a big one.
And we've got Cloudland at Sunbright. The schedule says Wartburg at Sunbright, but the Sunbright-Cloudland game was something that happened because of COVID-19. So with the nuttiness, it's really hard to keep up with who's playing, who's not playing because of COVID-19. So we talked about these teams in the area. We told you a little bit about how they're doing. Let's take a look at our Region 2 standings. So this is what we were talking about. Midway might be upset that I said that Coalfield Oliver Springs would determine the champion in that, and Midway might have something to say about that, however, as Midway sitting there 3-1 on the season overall, and Oliver Springs 1-4 on the season overall. But don't let that fool you. Oliver Springs is tough this year.
Yeah, you might want to take a look at the Oliver Springs schedule before you judge too harshly on that 1-4 record. But I tell you, I cannot wait for this Coalfield Midway matchup. The Midway Oliver Springs. There's a lot of good football in that Region 2 1A.
Yeah, always. It's always a tough one. Region 2 2A, Meigs County, they just keep it rolling along. They're 5-0 on the year. Oneida 4-0 on the year, and Tony Lambert's got his squad in Scott County looking great. Rockwood in action tonight against Harriman, like we said, 2-3 on the year. And Cumberland Gap and Wartburg bringing up that rear right there. And you've got 5 teams in that region, which means 4 teams get into the playoff, which means that Cumberland Gap Wartburg game is going to be very important to see who gets into the playoffs.
Yeah, that game's been instrumental the last couple years, really deciding who's going to get into the playoffs. So it's been pretty big.
And 3A, your Region 2, Alcoa, of course, at the top of that list. Gatlinburg-Pittman, 4-1 on the year, 2-0 in that region. And then Kingston still sitting at 4-0, 2-0 in the region, followed by Pigeon Forge, Scott, Northview Academy, and Austin East. And in 4A, you've got East Hamilton so far.
Yeah.
Because East Hamilton and Anderson County are both tied in the region, so you look to the overall record to determine who you put first right there. And, of course, Anderson County 3-2 with just a brutal schedule. But, again, that team the Mavericks are really good this year.
Yeah, they really are. And, like I said, I predicted them to win on out.
And so we will get prepared to take a moment of silence and listen to our national anthem as performed by the Clinton High School Marching Band. And that is our national anthem, performed by Clinton High School's marching band. So we've got Clinton and Oak Ridge coming up as we finish up these standings. In 5A, you got Powell sitting up top at 5-0, tied with Knox West also at 5-0 and 2-0 in the region. West really good this season. They played Oak Ridge last week and defeated them 22-7. So that West and Powell game, that will be a really, really fun one.
Yeah, that'll be one of the better games in this whole state of Tennessee that night. So keep an eye on that one, because I tell you, that'll be one you want to watch.
And, of course, this is the region that we are covering tonight, as Oak Ridge is currently tied with Fulton in that third spot, followed by Carnes and Clinton. Clinton, with a brand-new coach this year, is sitting at 0-3 overall, and this is the first region game for the Dragons tonight.
Pretty big test, good coaching staff came in here, and they've done a lot of good and getting the indoor facility finished, and it's going to be a great game.
I think so as well. As you see, Coach Darrell Keith in his first season, coming over from Todd County, Kentucky last season. The 1992 state football runner-up was this Clinton Dragons team, and not had a lot of success in this series, though, and we'll talk about that when we get back. Oak Ridge is at Clinton in your OEB Law Game of the Week.
OEB Law is excited to be a part of this year's football season. School spirit is at an all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit recintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer. Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices. Race on down!
And welcome back into your OEB Law Game of the Week. At OEB, their clients are essential to them, so while other businesses were shutting down because of COVID-19, OEB Law took the necessary precautions in order to safely remain open and available for their clients and community. They social distanced themselves while in and around the office. They provided hand sanitizer dispensers at doorways. Face masks were handmade, provided by Tim Elrod's mother. They utilized Facebook Live to let the community know that they were there for them, and that's what OEB Law does. For more information on them, go to recintoacheck.com or give the phone call, 865-546-1111. So, Clinton coach Darrell Keith walked into
pretty much an impossible situation. He moved Clinton to replace Randy McCamey, who left the program after a 2-8 regular season finish. Not only did he need to rebuild, but Clinton has a monster of a schedule and region, as you have seen. Not only is that true, but he was limited to what he could do in preseason because of COVID-19. If that's you and not him, what goes through your mind?
Well, that's a difficult question there, but he's been learning on the fly as well, because let me tell you, there is a major difference in Kentucky high school football and Tennessee high school football. Not even on the same scale with talent. And then you add in COVID-19, so it's been extremely hard for his transition, I'm sure.
Oak Ridge is one of those teams that will always have high expectations based on the history of the Wildcat program. Coach Joe Gaddis seems to always have Oak Ridge in a pretty solid spot. A few bumps early in the season in the absence of star running back Kendall Jackson, and Oak Ridge is battling to keep a winning record. How would you assess Oak Ridge's season so far?
Well, it's not been the best start that many thought and even more wanted, but it's just one of those years so far. So injuries have had and some bad bounces really have caused part of the issues, but they look to right some of those wrongs here tonight. Oak Ridge will bounce back very strong.
They'll have a chance to go 500 tonight if they can defeat this Clinton Dragon team. These teams have shared a county and a decent history of playing each other, but Clinton's been dominated in this series 46-12. Last year, though, Coach McCamey's Dragons played a very good OR team tough, 27-14. You'll see a lot of the same players on the field tonight. Clinton wants to win, and this would make a huge statement. But could there be a moral victory to be had here if the Dragons don't win but play tough?
Simply put, yes. You never want to admit it, but let's face it, if Clinton can keep it close, that will make a lot more believers out of some of these Clinton fans.
Sometimes rain is said to be a great equalizer. Do you believe that could be a matter tonight with the wet field?
It can be, and you might have some costly turnovers from this wet field, so keep an eye on it.
You have to start the climb somewhere, and Coach Keith knows that. Clinton has quite an uphill battle tonight. What are the keys for both teams?
Clinton, you've got to force turnovers and limit explosive plays by the Oak Ridge offense and play mistake-free football. Oak Ridge, you got to play smart football, keep it simple, and control the line of scrimmage.
Oak Ridge last week dropped their game against West 22-7. Just couldn't get anything going on offense as starting quarterback Mitchell Gibbons threw 3 interceptions. And that star tailback Kendall Jackson that we talked about only had 4 yards on 10 carries. So, I mean, that's a rough night for him.
Extremely rough. So let's see if they can bounce back here tonight.
Oak Ridge finished negative rushing yards last week as well, so they'll try to get that going. Tonight for Clinton, their star running back to start the season, Eli Deschamps, will not play because of a stress fracture, so Clinton having to do some adjustments too. Trent Thackerson was their starting quarterback to start the season, but I believe he'll move to tailback, and you will see Coach Keith's son, Joshua, take the reins at quarterback as we see the coin toss. Clinton wins, and they're going to kick. So the Dragons want to defer to the second half. And so we'll get to see Gibbons and Jackson on offense to start this football game.
Oak Ridge will be receiving at the scoreboard end of the field.
All right. So Clinton Oak Ridge, as we mentioned, is a series that has been dominated by Oak Ridge, but Clinton has played this Wildcat team tough a couple times in the last few years.
Yeah, you can't touch enough on this rivalry. You're talking these kids have played each other for years. Just, going to school just down the road. So they've played each other for years, and they're very familiar with each other. So pretty exciting game here tonight.
And it's also one of those situations where you get two schools that are this close together, then you have, for whatever reason, people move houses, their parents move to get jobs and things like that. So you might see some of these Clinton players that used to play in the Oak Ridge city system, or you might see some of the Oak Ridge players who maybe used to play in Clinton Little League and things like that, so they could be very well familiar with each other. Really excited to get this one kicked off in just a moment with our Davis Funeral Home kickoff. Davis Funeral Home with 2 locations in Wartburg and Harriman. Call 882-2000 or 346-2011. So for Clinton, it is Ryan Bradley, and this is going out of bounds. Was that a possible attempt of an onside?
It sure looked it, and why not? You have nothing to lose, so be aggressive, and you might get some lucky bounces.
All right.
Oak Ridge will put the ball in play at the point it went out of bounds.
So that is a penalty because the ball was kicked out of bounds. Oak Ridge will, instead of making Clinton re-kick, they will take the football, and we'll start